Less than that.
What movie are they watching?
Switching over.
Kingsman.
Woo, come on. Everything comes on. Yes.
I can get even closer if you'd like.
Oh,
that's
God.
hot.
I
Say
love
more.
the fact that we open and that is basically the first thing everyone hears. Hi, everybody.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome
We
to
are starting today's ASMR podcast.
Yeah, D and D.
Oh.
Welcome,
and ASMR.
everybody, to the State of Anarchy Session 7.
Oh, say more, Dungeon Daddy.
If it is not entirely apparent, apparently today is going to be the Session of Chaos. Because if anyone saw the announcement, we have a guest star, the wonderful Uzu Mecha. If you like his work, go check out
I wouldn't
his
go that
channel.
far.
He usually does really great things like plays Pokemon, plays Apex Legends, does some Overwatch over on the channel. I think if you follow him, he opens Pokemon cards, although that may change shortly in this economy.
That
So-
reminds
This
me.
week we're opening a bill.
Yeah.
Today's episode, I sell my PC on stream so that I can afford water for the week.
Some people do PC construction on their stream. You just do like
PC
yard
construction.
sales.
Yeah. So
You just go through like Craigslist listings.
Instead
The
of
price is right on eBay.
instead of reading Reddit posts, you just read Facebook Marketplace ads. So
Tree sponsorship.
It sucks to suck, team. I hate to tell you.
Oh, I got a shiny. Overdue.
at this point, the wonderful Rosewood is not with us. He did say he was feeling unwell. He did say he was going to try and make it, but I believe it's 4 a.m. where he is in America right now. So if he does not wake up,
in the morning.
we hope he gets better soon. If he does,
Jesus Christ! If he doesn't wake up, could you be any more
my
dark
God.
and gloomy about that?
it doesn't wake up in time for session, if I need to be explicit. If he doesn't wake
Doesn't
up in
wake
time
up
for
He's
session,
already not
we-
waking up in time session.
we hope he gets better soon. If not, dude, your
Hope he
gun's
has the
jammed again.
sweetest-
If he shows up, his gun's jammed again. His gun has been the absolute bane of his existence for the
No,
gunslinger
no,
of the party.
no. It's the PTSD.
Yeah,
Got a bit too
PTSD.
heavy.
He's sitting on a rooftop with PTSD right now. Anybody else? We've got. If you want to catch anybody else on Twitch, I believe that there's Valcor is a blink and you'll miss him kind of streamer. If you're
It's
lucky.
called Blip.
A lot of us are.
He has a blip.
It's called
yeah,
Blip.
Tide Runner, I believe, is also a blip streamer as well. If you want to see some really cool artwork and just random things about piss goblins and stuff like this, go check out Tyrant Dungeon as well.
No, that's my whole thing. How dare you take it? I am the artist.
And if you like some of
I was actually going to argue that I was the one who actually talked about piss goblins, not you. But I'm glad you didn't take that, though. I didn't take that.
How dare you claim piss goblin?
Just gonna work on my art here.
also, if you like what we do and just like our general personalities being the weird ass fucking Australians that we are on Twitch, you can check out Valcor, Tyrant Dungeon, Tide Runner, and myself over on Evil One's channel, and Usumeka actually over on Evil One's channel. Occasionally, we play Power Rangers over there on a Monday once a fortnight. We play Grung Gang, which is an entirely Grung-based D&D campaign, Wednesdays once a fortnight, and we play Star Wars on Sundays every week. So check us out over there as well. So fun times. Can we not, people? Jeez. This is why.
Tell me more about how I'm not the artist of the group.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Hold on. Which ones was which teams?
I don't want to speculate. So,
That's the real plot twist. It's all Uzu.
It's
probably.
all Uzu.
I don't want to delete
No,
Breeze.
ultimate plot twist. It's just May.
It might be.
Wait, it's all Uzumeka? Always has been, kid.
Oh Jesus! I don't want to delete Breeze, but I might have to just to actually.
Oh my god, she's been deleted.
Yep.
Alright,
It's been my
Fine.
favorite
She's
guy.
gone.
Fine.
She's gone the way
Fine.
of Spider-Man in Infinity War.
Yeah, Breeze doesn't feel so good.
Stop it, you'll make me cry.
Okay, so as
so
a brief
good, Mr.
as a brief recap, quickly, who remembers what happened last week?
I
We'll come
was
back.
not existing.
Well, no, you did exist. You just weren't in the scene yet. We were in combat.
Allow me to do the unspeakable and read my notes.
Go for it. Yes, I'm here for it. Please do.
They're only in bullet points, so it's very simple and easy to recap. We fought and defeated the Wakwaks. We saved some citizens from being eaten by the Wakwaks. We then continued around the street and encountered a necrotic unicorn that is aggressive to us for our tainting of magic. That's all it is.
Sounds about right. Yeah, that's
There was some storytelling about Crisis forgetting his gun yet again, but yeah, I never really include that because it's usually just a given.
at this point.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, I know very little about the campaign except for the fact he never has his gun.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
So I
got
don't
his
need
gun
to
now,
include that in
but-
my notes anymore.
I do believe.
Boy, I know what Crisis is really sick of, all of this bullying.
I will say that Rick was not here last week, so he did end up getting swept away with the crowd, and so he was over by the tavern, herding people back into the tavern,
could
so
you
they
have
weren't
them?
in the streets. Yes, so they weren't in the streets, which we do like for him. We also know that Crisis did manage to run back to the tavern to grab his gun, managed to dive through a second-story window, and then grab his gun and dive out of the second-story window, looking really cool. So that happened. But he also
Scaring a bunch of kids.
and scaring a bunch of kids. Yes, we did also see him realize that there is more terrifying shit going on in the city. So there is that. Which he did, I believe, came back and told you that there was other stuff going on in the city and you guys were facing down against a corrupted unicorn. And you're like, no shit, Sherlock. He had some PSD. Everyone realised Sebastian was more terrifying as one of the Wakwaks did curl up on themselves, breaking all its bones as it curled in on itself. And Sebastian just stared at it, saying creepy, echoey, double-voiced words.
I'm the most wholesome character in this group.
I mean, you're only wholesome if we take your Crocs into example. Although people will...
The
Guys,
Crocs are host.
I can't be the bad guy, guys. I have the Crocs.
Exactly.
I feel like
true.
that is a very strong point for why he is the bad guy. I would like that put on record. Crocs are not
It is
top.
a little bit suspicious that he is the only person in existence with Crocs. Just saying.
Yeah.
Crocs are the devil's footwork.
Custom-made Crocs. Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for him to make you a pair of those high-heeled Crocs, Breeze. So...
No.
Just no.
Okay, so, and I believe the corrupted unicorn had walked up to Sebastian, stared into his soul through his sunglasses, which he does wear at night. And
Why are you wearing sunglasses at night?
that is a question you can
Because they
ask.
look cool, mate.
Yeah. But
Okay, cool. I'll respect it.
I believe the corrupted unicorn looked straight into Sebastian's soul and said, "I am as I am because of you," and that was where the session ended. I do apologise.
Did your dad fuck a unicorn?
I will apologise to everybody for how janky the internet was last week. I cannot guarantee that it's going to get any better today, but so far it seems to be working. So,
And if you want to catch
How
more
dare
janky
you.
internet connections, stick around for the rest of the episode.
we'll see. I did restart my modem, so hopefully it will improve. Hopefully it will improve and everything will go uneventfully from here on out. So, we jump in with the group facing down the unicorn. Crisis on a roof, having a slight PTSD-based panic attack. Crisis, yes.
Crisis is in a crisis right now.
Yeah, he's having a mental crisis. Breeze did indeed climb up onto a rooftop to peer over the leafy edge of the house. You're not in yet. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Driving this car.
That is-
Vroom, vroom.
Oh, for God's sake. But Bao, Sebastian, Harsa, you are standing in front of a corrupt unicorn who is breathing...
Roasting the shit out of Sebastian.
roasting the shit out of Sebastian. You can see its hot, fetid breath puffing out from its nostrils.
Heated?
Fetid, yes, fetid is a word.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Literacy, people! It is important! Fetid,
Oh, see, I've only ever seen it written, so I thought it was fetid.
fetid, I might be pronouncing
You
it
said
wrong.
fetid, and I'm like, why are we talking about feet now?
Are we talking about fetishes? What's
No,
going
we're
on?
not. So, you can see its hot breath puffing out from its nostrils as it's staring down at Sebastian. You see its eyes are like dark pools with just the purplish light of the eldritch peering out at you. Its horn flickering in and out of existence with dark magic. Hello, world's best for third year, and Autobot, you are real keen tonight.
Roll out.
Yeah. Roll out.
Now, the thing was that if it took one step closer, Crisis was supposed to shoot it, and that would start combat. Crisis is no longer here.
Yes.
I'll shoot it.
He went to
I
take the
can't
shot and
let
his
you
gun
do that,
jammed.
Hal.
Yeah.
He went to take the shot and his gun jammed, which he swore loudly to himself, rolled back and is starting to trying to fix it. So
See, I thought you were saying he rolled back and was going to go into the fetal position, but that worked too.
realizing that he may need to purchase a new gun because this one has done nothing but fail him.
Or just not be there.
Smells just kind of side steps away from Sebastian.
I am not with him.
No, he doesn't want to be in this line of fire.
So,
Well then,
Well then.
what now?
your friends can help us.
Now,
Are you willing to use whatever means necessary to find out your answers?
no, I'm not.
Pity. Because they are. He's going to take a step towards Harsa.
What-po?
And he is going to attempt to stab you with his horn. Which I already know that a 10 does not hit you, Harsa. As his horn phases.
Yeah, nah.
So I will get you to roll initiative if you would like.
You know, I'm not sure. He hasn't done anything hostile yet, so I don't know if we're fighting.
It was a really awkward pet, you know?
Yeah, he came up and nuzzled me. That's fine. Like,
He wanted to give a handshake, but he didn't have any hands, so...
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He goes to stab you, and Harsa, you manage to lean back in time to avoid the thrust of his horn. So everyone can roll
Just,
initiative.
like, matrixing out of the way.
Well, you are.
Everybody.
I believe at this point in time, are you still hastened, or has enough time passed that you are no longer?
I was never hastened.
Well, I'm sorry. Alchemical potion that made you faster.
Zephyr'd.
Oh, Zephyr Strike is a one-turn thingy.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Glad to know. Okay, sweet. Either way, you duck out of the way because potions. Magic.
Yay.
Kind of magic potions-ish. Yay.
Woo.
I will also get you, Breeze, to roll initiative, if you will.
Sorry, just one sec.
Apologies if you can hear Freebird in the background. Yeah, no, they've just reached the church scene in Kingsman.
No, that's all right. Okay. So, Sebastian, you watch as this Nullicorn, as it is called, goes to stab Harsa. What do you do in response?
Well then, let's test how magic works on this thing. Opening things up.
That's all right.
Alright. Nova Colata.
Okay. Sweet.
Oh, I rolled max damage too. That's the first
Nice.
time. It'd be so shit if it was immune to it.
He's not immune, but it's fine. Yeah. It's okay though. He beats your save, so therefore he takes no damage from your attack. And he kind of looks at you. His head swings towards you, Sebastian, and he's like, "You would dare use magic against me?
You dare use my own spells against me?"
All right then. And Sebastian will take a couple steps back and end my turn.
All right. Breeze, it is your turn.
Okay. So I've seen everything go down. I've seen that the unicorn has tried to attack, and this is not a reason. This is not a unicorn I can reason with, I think.
Well, you haven't heard any of this exchange.
But I saw, because I'm like in a visible position. I got.
Oh
there
yeah,
to
the
get
only thing you would have seen
visibility.
is walk up to Sebastian, stare at Sebastian for a bit, and then try and stab Harsa.
What,
I thought you said aside from maybe like 2 sentences.
Yeah, actually, sorry.
Yeah.
I
I thought Breeze
yeah.
had gotten within range of the.
just within range, yes.
unicorn
You
once
are
it got,
correct. I
close.
apologize. You are
I
correct.
apologize.
But it's in a stabby mood, so I'm just thinking I'm probably just gonna have to attack.
I'm feeling
right,
stabby.
May I recommend?
I'm just gonna do a gentle, a light Eldritch Blast.
Just a light Eldritch Blast.
A
A
Sure.
little sprinkle.
Fireball.
Tiny, a wee Eldritch Blast.
Just salt bathe the Eldritch Blast.
Does a 16 hit?
A 16. As I'm frantically trying to send messages to organise things in the background. A 16 does hit. It does indeed.
That's not right. Yes, it is. I rolled minimum damage. You see, I told you it was a light Eldritch Blast, just a gentle. And I'm going to shove it back 10 feet and just be like, "Hey,
Okay.
if you have something to say, say it." In my
You
mind,
shove
I'll
him back
figure it out.
10 feet. You watch as his eyes turn on you, Sebastian, as you see. What colour is your magic, by the way, Breeze? Your Eldritch Blast.
It depends on the magic, but this one, I believe I said before, was like a light, like the outside of it, because it was kind of was still like leaves, like purple, like flower petals, lilac, but the inside of it was like a deep magenta, almost red color.
Sweet. Yes, so Sebastian, you see this purpley magenta blast of power soar over your head and hit this unicorn full face. And you see its skin ripple as parts of it tear slightly, and you can see the purplish energy within it pulsing through as Breeze yells at it.
Hands
Say
on
your
top, it's
piece.
looking cool.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Breeze?
I think I will end my turn.
Okay.
No inspiration for you losers.
I believe at the moment, anyway, just to keep everyone clued in to inspiration, I believe that Rick and Harsa both still have inspiration from last
Yeah.
session.
Yeah, that's DM version inspiration instead of bardic. Yeah.
Well, no, it's
I did give some people
Watcher.
bardic last time as well, so
you did crisis.
Yeah, it's
he has
audience inspiration that we have, but it is the equivalent of DM inspiration. Like,
Yeah.
it's a reroll rather than a bardic boost.
Looking for my pen. Yes. Okay. Making sure I'm keeping track of everything. Otherwise, we might be in trouble, people. Okay. So, too many things here. Okay. So,
Oh yeah, that's right. You can't,
can you?
because it's just a screenshot from the stat sheet. There's a tiny little +3.
Is there? Where? I can't see.
Next to the face of it.
Oh, no.
When you zoom in, it
You gotta
says.
zoom in
Oh,
like
yeah, they-
real close.
the character art. Love that. Yes, we love that for you guys. So,
That's a charming little fella.
charming little fella. Okay. Okay, so, as you burst him in the face, Breeze, and tell him to play nice, which he is taking with a grain of salt, obviously. Bow, what would you like to do?
With a grain of salt.
I didn't say play nice. I said, if you have
opinion.
something to say, he's cryptic.
Bao is going to quickly actually move here, and he's going to pull out from his poncho a hunting trap.
Okay.
So he's going to set this down here. I can't give the info because it's an item in my sheet, like in my.
Would you like me to draw it for you?
You don't have to draw the hunting trap, thank you.
Yeah. But when you use your action to set it, this trap forms a sawtooth steel ring that snaps shut when a creature steps on a pressure plate in the center. The trap is affixed by a heavy chain to an immovable object, such as a tree or spike driven into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
A creature that steps on the plate must succeed on a DC 13 dexterity saving throw or take 1d4 piercing damage.
Okay.
And stop moving. Thereafter, until the creature breaks through the trap, its movement is limited by the length of the chain, typically 3 feet long. A creature can use its action to make a DC 13 strength check, freeing itself or another creature within its reach on a success. Each failed check deals 1 piercing damage to the trapped creature. So, there you go.
Okay.
I'll send it all in your messages.
So you're placing it down on the ground?
He is setting it down on the ground right here.
Okay. So you're looking, if I've got this correct, you're looking the unicorn in the eye as you essentially pull out a bear trap, open it, and put it gingerly down on the ground.
He's not being shy about it. He's just putting it down as a trap. It doesn't need to be hidden.
Okay.
You realise traps work better if they don't know it's a trap, right?
Yeah, but
Back to what I was doing.
it's charging around everywhere. It's gonna have to move around it to get to anybody.
Okay.
Maybe it's so obvious that it thinks that it can't possibly be a trap.
Yeah, reverse
Maybe we could
psychology.
just wait it to walk into it.
Yeah.
It's
Offer it a
fine.
treat.
You can just
Put a
put a
carrot
piece
on the pressure plate, yeah.
He gets
Jesus.
his own self stuck.
Turn
mean
around
like
and say,
this?
I hope no one takes this yummy, delicious carrot I've just sat here.
Okay, for everyone's reference, I have put a bear trap
Okay.
on the map for everybody. Wait, you know what?
Kind of
can I
blends
make
in
it,
a bit.
Well, yeah, it does blend in a bit with the brown. But you lay it down. Is there anything you'd like to say to it, Bao? Would you?
I'll give you 10 gold if you step in the bear trap right now.
That's a very tempting offer. No.
Unfortunately, right now, Uzu, you are a player and you cannot gift each other
You
gold.
can't.
No. You said we could only do that to inspiration. We can give and steal gold.
Okay.
Hell of a deal.
Well, he's just going to blow a cherry at him and run away.
So you're gonna blow a raspberry
Yeah.
and
run past.
run away. Run away.
Your stinky magic's mine.
Okay.
Don't ever touch me, He-Man.
You can never catch me here, man.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, way to show your age.
So, it is the Nullicorn's turn, and with that, Harsa, he is going to step towards you, pissed off now, and
He's going to try and come in for another hug.
he is going to attempt to. He rears back on his hind legs, and slashes
that's
at
time
you
for a hug.
with his hooves.
With his horse.
his
Damn, he's got a horse.
Does a 15 hit?
Does
The old
a
Rizzler of
15
Oz over here.
hit? Let me check. Do I have access to that? I do not. Therefore, yes, it does.
Okay. So you take 2 hoof attacks for a grand total of 25 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm down.
And
That's my max HP.
Okay. He's going to look at Sebastian. It's your choice.
Did my man just got murked by a horse?
They serve us, or they serve no one.
The hell of a job offer.
He's standing over Harsa, which, Harsa, being your turn, I need a death saving throw, please. And if you would like to make that invisible, if you could.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
I almost just coke everywhere.
Okay. All right. 2 GM.
2 GM, please.
Death save. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
I think he succeeded in it, guys.
Okay. So, as he's staring down Sebastian, before you take your turn, Sebastian, he's staring you down, giving you his offer that you turn to serve them, whoever they are. You hear a noise. Burp, burp. As a yellow and green Jeep slides to a stop nearby you. It has red stripes all along the bonnet up over the rooftop. You can see that it's got a skylight on top. Big headlights. Yep, that noise. For anyone who wants to know, it is the classic Jurassic Park looking Jeep.
Yeah, I thought so. Nice.
As it slides to a stop, as you see Rick in the front seat, in the passenger seat, and next to him, would you like to explain, Uzu, what Blake looks like?
Would you like to explain yourself?
Look, I don't follow the road rules. I just drive fast. I don't know. I'm a good-looking young chap. I have to actually read my own bio. Give me 5 seconds.
Oh, what does your character look like? What did you make him look like? Jeez.
Blake is a middle-aged fella. He's got some nice black clothes on with long black hair. He's just a generic-looking fella. I don't know. He's not that special.
Jeff Goldblum,
He
open
has,
shirt pose.
I believe the way you described him to me is he has longish black hair that kind of looks reddish in the light. He's wearing a lot of black clothes. Classic adventurous style gentleman, wearing kind of a similar-ish poncho to Bao, with boots. Ready, looks like the ready for anything kind of action gentleman.
Oh, he looks like an emo twink.
I don't know if that's offensive or not.
I don't know why, but I was thinking the same thing. I just heard My Chemical Romance when he rolled in.
You know what? Fine. You heard My Chemical Romance when he rolled in.
It's playing on the Jeep's radio.
It doesn't have a radio. It's playing on a
Yeah,
speaker that Rick brought with him.
To answer Tommy, yeah, he does look a bit edgy, but he's kind of got this aura, like glow to him, that he looks like he's, I suppose, personality wise, he is kind of like the Jeff Goldblum character from Jurassic Park.
It's described lovable charm, team.
Yeah, there you go. You two arrive, Rick and Blake, to see this darkened looking
Now it's Palake.
unicorn standing over to you, Blake, a purple-greyish-looking gentleman who looks pretty badly stomped. Rick, you can see that it is over Harsa. And I will get you two to roll initiative to know where you guys are going to take place in this scenario. I don't have a Jeep token, otherwise I would put a Jeep token on.
Holy shit, I'd be
How-
zooming.
How do you not have a Jeep token? What is this?
Because this is the first modern setting
How
I have run in.
unprofessional.
I'm sorry.
Is this a
Wow.
car up here in the top right corner? Can I have that?
Let me see if I can quickly find one if it is so important to everybody's.
I mean, if you
Immersion.
really want, you can hire me to draw one for you.
The cavalry has arrived.
My immersion. I've got cards.
Well, Well, obviously my token wasn't my token because it didn't highlight.
Okay.
Oh, there's two. I brought two trash pandas.
You did.
All right, why can't I get my me up?
Here, try
So
that.
to speak.
It's Rick and his long estranged twin Nick.
Here we go.
Yeah, no, I don't have any Jeeps, and I'm not going to fork out to roll 20 for one now. For one moment, for a bit. Because I could get a Jeep, but I can't get the exact Jeep I need, so it's not important.
Well,
But either way.
the thing we used to drive cross country, isn't it?
I will get a picture of the Jeep for next session. How about that?
How did you roll a 0.2?
That's your
I'm
dexterity
that
modifier.
good.
You're a little
Very.
goer.
Okay, so I believe.
But do you want to change it to 21.2? Because that's your real initiative.
Yeah, that is your real initiative, so I can change it. It's fine. Okay, so pulling up, Blake. What would you like to do? I love the fact that you literally pull up in your car with your clown horn, and yeah.
I pull up and I mean business, but also I've my speed is how far I can travel, right?
That is correct. For anyone who doesn't know, this is Uzumaker's first time actually playing D&D, so their initiative roll is legitimately their first ever D&D roll.
Well, it's nice.
Nerd.
If I'm-
Initiative 20, well done.
Hey, it's the only one I'm going to roll. I do like that if I move my full 40 feet, I end up in a bear trap, but that's
I was gonna
nice.
say, yeah, you try to ram the Jeep into it and immediately get a flat tire.
Well, you technically haven't gotten out of your car yet.
Oh, can I run him over there?
Yes, if you would
And
like.
immediately get a flat tire.
From rolling over a bear trap, yeah, but sure. You can run your Jeep over. Run your Jeep over? Don't do that.
Oh. It's
Do
not
a
in
barrel
punching.
roll.
It's not in punching distance, so I'm just gonna move to here. If I'm being honest, I'm gonna move a little bit closer and maybe a little bit. Hey, there's my Jeep.
Nice.
I'm gonna move to I'll leave my Jeep. I will exit the Jeep and I'll come down here and that's basically I'm gonna see what these guys are up to because I really don't know what's going on at this point.
Okay.
I picked up a raccoon. That's it.
You did.
Hey, mate,
You said
would you mind killing that unicorn?
I mean, I can try. It's not gonna be a fun time.
you can certainly try to kill the unicorn.
Bring it within swinging range, and I'll hit it.
Oh, not fucking swinging range.
Nobody in this universe has a phone or a gun.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so give me a second. Just because apparently it mattered to everybody.
You better not be changing my Jeep because I'm in love with the one I have now.
It's exactly what they're doing.
Sebastian worked so hard on my Jeep.
Don't. You know what? It is actually going to have to be that wide. So, actually, it might even be bigger than that. There you go. You have a car now.
Oh my god! I ran over the cat.
He's not a cat. He's a raccoon.
8 more lives to go.
That you know of.
Rick's caught on the wheel.
Oh my god, Rick is actually caught on the wheel.
I'm so sorry, Rick.
Got the cat and I got the raccoon too.
Okay, there we go. We have
Call me roadkill.
I'm the real villain.
And just so we know, this can be controlled by Cade. There you go. You're not Cade in this, but there you go. You should be able to move your Jeep now.
Oh, vroom vroom.
Which...
Zoom, zoom.
No, we're not
God.
sponsored by them. I'm not
We're
allowed
not
to say it.
sponsored. Okay, so you are currently still in your car. So, what would you like to do?
Look, yeah, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna come over to. As much as I don't want to talk to the cat, I'm gonna come and talk to the cat and my new red-headed friend and find out what's going on exactly here. And-
Just so you know. Well,
Really?
Is it he had dinner, didn't have dinner, and is now having second dinner?
yes.
No, this one's a surprise. Merry Christmas. It's dinner.
Okay, we'll figure out your exact speed shortly. But I mean, you're in a small space, so I'll say at most you can move at the moment is 60 feet per round, just for now, because I'm imagining you're not planting your foot and running over everybody. So, what would you like to do, Blake? Are you going to get out of the car? Are you actually going to get out of the car, or are you going to stay in the car and drive the car?
No, I'm gonna park the car and get out.
Okay.
I don't really want to risk running over a unicorn if there's a person I don't know on the ground under the unicorn.
Okay, so you're already braked. So you turn the car off, you get out, which would put you roughly here. Good, sweet. Now, yes. What would you like to do now that you've established that?
I am going to come down here to the oys,
Yep.
and I'm just going to take a defensive pose at the moment because I don't really know what's going on.
Okay. You plant your feet and get ready to fight. Rick, what would you like to do?
Rick's sussing out the situation. He's going to jump out of the vehicle. Get to about here.
Yep.
Pull his revolver and take a shot.
Okay. Pull out your revolver, take a shot.
With a hunter's mark.
I love when a ranger remembers they have hunter's mark.
Holy shit, he killed that turkey.
Okay. So 25 definitely hits. So 12 points of damage, I believe, if that's correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Get away from my friend.
He looks at you, his lip curling. You're next.
Bring it on, Gigi.
Is there anything else you'd like to do, Rick?
Nah, just stare at him.
Okay. Sebastian.
Go.
Alright, once again, turning to the Onyx Uncomer and seeing his relatively put together get-up of adventurer, soldier, guard, something that's supposed to be competent.
Yep.
Alright,
Thank you, Taylor Soldier Spy.
that unicorn over there is trying to kill the citizenry. Might want to get on that. Try not to get collateral with my currently being gored friend over there.
Look, I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm going to give it a red hot go.
Sebastian will turn around to face Breeze and will point at Breeze, then point at Harsa and give like a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Point up, thumbs down. Is that all you're doing on your turn?
No, I'm waiting for Breeze's response.
Oh. Breeze.
Do I understand what he's trying to say?
I don't know. Do you understand what he's trying to say?
Does my character understand? I
Do
don't.
you understand thieves?
Do you understand what he's trying to say? It is legitimate. It is a legitimate thing. Do you understand what he's putting down?
Sebastian pointed at you, pointed at Harsa, and then is doing like a motion with his hand as if like thumbs up, thumbs down. Which is it?
Bree shrugs and looks confused.
She just gives up.
Can I roll something to see if I understand what he's trying to say?
I generally roll that
Because
there's
Bree's
no.
I don't.
With this, I generally rule it that if you legitimately don't understand, like you as the character, as the player of the character, if you don't understand what Sebastian's saying, you don't understand, and that's a-okay. Like, you guys have
Breeze, you
literally
got a
just...
50.
Am I being sick?
No one
No.
gets it. You got a 50-50. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Just go with your gut.
Yeah, go with it.
He's either going
Because-
to execute his mate or not.
Because the thing is, you guys have, well, even though you have a passing knowledge of Sebastian, you guys have just met. So, you don't know how he operates. For all you know, he could be asking you to do the hokey pokey.
I say, I shout. What do you mean, Sebastian? What are you trying to say?
Speak, apparition.
What are you trying to say?
Breeze, have you got Harsa? Are you gonna get him? Help him.
I'm not. It depends on what the GM says.
No, it's whatever you want to do.
No, it depends because it depends. I have to ask you some questions when it comes to my turn.
Okay.
So it depends. Yeah.
Okay, so it depends.
Depends is such a not good answer.
Yeah, I put a sideways thumb.
It's in God's hands. She just gives you like one of those like awkward hand wobbles, which is like,
Okay, so Sebastian, as you point up, point down, she's like, what are you saying? She just looks at you and kind of puts her thumb to the side and goes, eh.
I'm gonna move the 30 foot towards Harsa and
Okay.
Doing my maintaining that 25 performance from before, being cool as a cucumber, doing a stabilization check on Harsa.
Okay, roll medicine.
And that's one long check.
You manage to. You can see that Harsa's looking pretty battered, beat up, and bruised. But you do manage to be like, as you're looking up at the unicorn, you're like, God damn it, giving him CPR. But you do. He lets out a cough and breathes an loud inhalation of breath. As Harsa, you are still on 0, but you're at least breathing and you are stabilized.
Woo!
the kiss of life.
I'm gonna psychically say to the unicorn, you know, I don't exactly care quite a lot about these people, so if you really want to hurt me, it'd be better if you impaled me instead.
Okay.
Breeze, it's your turn.
Okay, so two questions. How long would it take me to get down from here? How much movement?
Roll off the side and it's instant.
How far up is it? Will I take damage?
You managed to climb up here, so it's at least from the floor to the top, like to the gutter of this house. It's at least 10 feet, and you would have had to jump to grab the edge and pull yourself up. So, I mean, you're not going to sustain damage if you jump down.
Okay. Because I just need to get down, basically.
Yeah,
so I
you
can
can
jump. I
jump
can
down.
jump down.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can jump down.
All right, and that'll take about 10 feet of movement or no movement.
Yeah, you can take movement.
Yeah, but
You're
how much
literally-
movement will jumping take?
None. You're not jumping
Alright.
up to something. You're
Alright,
dropping
I jump.
down. Yep.
And then I will. Let me see.
You land as you stagger. You stagger as you land, and you can launch
No, I
into
look
your
so.
run.
I look so cool.
Yeah, you look so cool. You in your mind, you're like, yeah, I'm so cool. I've never done anything like this. I'm so cool right now.
And then I move 5 more feet.
Yep.
And then I'll healing word. I'll healing word. Harsa.
Okay, healing word Harsa. You cast out
So-
your magic, reaching out for Harsa with your magic.
I drew a jeep for you.
Nice.
I'll send it to you.
I would love to see the Jeep.
Get 7 feet of healing.
Bought a Jeep.
Harsa, as you feel this warming presence suffuse into your bones, you suddenly become aware of, oh god, everything hurts. As you take 7 points of healing.
Nice.
And you open your eyes to see Sebastian's long red hair falling, framing your face. And just beyond him, oh god, the terrifying face of Death Unicorn. Hello, Spinner.
Yep.
Lovely to have you here, Spinner.
And as that was just our bonus action, I will Eldritch Blast. The
Okay, pew pew.
unicorn.
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
That does not work, I assume.
Nope. You're just so relieved, Breeze, that you have managed to heal Harsa, that you misjudge the distance and just shoot just over the unicorn shoulder. Just
And I have no inspiration. Okay, cool. Right.
okay.
That's all.
Bow, you see Breeze jump down, stand there looking really cool, and just shoot off a purple, pinkish, glowing beam of energy, her hair fluttering as the magic frames her.
And I'm also
Very
singing a clear and
cool.
beautiful note because that's how I hailed Harsa. Oh.
Val gives a big old thumbs up and then grabs his crossbow and shoots the damn creature of madness that is in front of him.
You pull your crossbow out from under
Mm-hmm.
your
He
poncho
keeps,
and
he
turn.
is, he might as well call his poncho holding. Everything's under there somehow, and nobody knows.
You just pockets, nothing but pockets under there. You pull out your poncho and turn,
Pockets
line
and
up the
skin.
shot. Yeah, you line up the shot, shoot the crossbow shot, Bow.
20! Not a natural, but a 20!
You line up, you close one eye, your tongue poking out of your mouth as you line up the shot, and doof, and you hear the food as it hits into the unicorn's flesh, and it lets out
Nice.
a scream of pain as it takes 9 points of piercing damage. It turns its
Ow.
eyes on you, Bow.
Val has a Joey pouch under that poncho.
And
Is
Val's gonna move in the direction of the trap.
You move in the direction of the trap.
So
Oh,
funny
God.
if you go.
He's gonna try his best to use the goddamn trap, okay? He's not gonna step on it, he's gonna like do the thing where you step around it and just hope that it steps on it.
Yep, you can step around. You're just hoping that it's going to step on it. Okay, so you're trying to bait it in, I'm assuming.
Yeah. That's exactly what he's doing.
Okay.
He's like, I'm a delicious boy! Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Realizing it has people down here and it wants to send a message, it is actually just going to straight up look down at Harsa, rest its horn against his leg. I need you to make me a con saving throw, Harsa.
Oh my
On
boy.
saving throw. Doing well.
You are doing well. Well done. As you and Sebastian see this flash of light and this ripple of darkness that washes up Harsa's front, Harsa, you feel these hooks start to sink into your flesh as you close your eyes and will that whatever that darkness is not to take you, and you can feel that it starts to just fade. Okay.
Cool.
You see the nullicorn stomp its foot and just let out a snort of frustration. Okay. Harsa, it is your turn. You are lying on the ground.
Yep. He's just Not fun. My turn. And you can see he reaches into his pocket while he's laying down, gets a small little vial out, pops it and drinks it. And I'm going to activate one of my mutagenics.
Okay.
As he grows, not enough to be considered large, but significantly bulkier than what he was. And I'm going to take on an Eldani's stat sheet.
Yep. Sebastian, next to you, you watch as this black mist and vein start to suffuse over Harsa's skin, evaporates, but then you watch after about a beat of a second as Harsa downs a potion and his skin starts to bubble and ripple as he starts to grow in size next to you.
You watch his primary two arms shift and his hands split as they turn into two claws. Like crab claws. I'm going to stand up and make a multi-attack against this thing.
Okay.
So, whack.
Both hit.
Whack, indeed.
Whack.
Well then. Technically shouldn't be at advantage, whatever that double roll is, but alright. One's a nat 20 and one's a 19, so...
Yep, roll me the damage.
It is 4 damage, and I need a grapple dex save.
Yep. Need a dex save. Got it. That's a 19.
Succeeds, and then 8 damage, and I need another one.
Okay. As you slash at it, it's a 16. So,
Succeeds, okay.
as you slash at it, but your claws fail to find purchase in its rotting flesh, you come away leaving deep gouges where you can see the dark, purple, swirling, ethereal kind of eldritch taint moving and rippling under its flesh. Anything else?
That is action. Eldani don't really have any fun little bonus actions, and I can't cast anything while in this, so that is my turn.
All right, Blake.
Oh,
You
we're
watch
all
this.
throwing hands.
You watch as the person who was on the ground, his skin ripples as he grows larger. You watch as one of his set of arms starts to split and turn into these large claws, and it slashes at the beast.
Life finds a way.
Yep. What would you like to do, Blake?
Well, we're all throwing hands. I'm gonna get in here. I'm gonna smash my knuckles together,
Yep.
and I'm gonna start throwing fists of fury.
Okay. You watch as
I do nothing apparently.
you watch as this man runs up next to him, and with a thunderous noise, you watch as he punches his hands together, his fists meeting, as they start to ripple with flames up to his elbows, and he goes to punch the Nullicorn, which you hit. You do hit.
Holy shit!
You take a giant swing, striking it in its face. As that is 13 points of damage against it. Okay. You just poof in its jaw, and you hear the cracking sound as its jaw is knocked from its hold, as the whole bottom of its jaw kind of comes loose and starts to hang as its saliva drips out of its mouth. It turns its eyes on you, Blake. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I'm good. I've hit it now. I'm happy.
Okay. Rick.
Just keeps walking forward
Okay. You walk
next to
forward.
Bow here.
Yep. You see the bear trap on the ground in front of you.
I'll look at the bear trap. I'll look at Bao, and just shake my head.
What?
But he's
And
not
I'll just
angry. He's just disappointed.
Oh.
I put the old revolver up sideways, going for the kill shot.
Okay.
Time to put this nag down.
Okay. You lift your gun. Okay. As it takes 13 points of damage. As you're shot, you see another hunk of flesh out of its shoulder shatter off and land on the ground, where it starts to just rot and melt immediately. Anything else, Rick?
I'll just take my cigar out and spit on the ground.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Sebastian.
How's it looking?
It's looking significantly worse for wear as it's missing pieces. You can see the large gash marks in its chest where Harsa just slashed upwards. And you can see this purple, blacker than black, I keep saying ethereal, I mean eldritch, swirling mass, like cosmos-like mass, just moving underneath the hunks of its deadening flesh that has echoes of familiarity to you. But it is looking it's looking messed up.
Alright, guess I'll Nova Collector it again.
Okay. Okay. You stare at it, your voice deepening as you recite the incantation. Okay.
I really don't like that he moved out of range. Should we all be moving out of range?
That's your choice.
Moving out of range.
It lets out a scream of pain as you feel your mind connect to it. You're just that shard of pain that you're driving into its brain mass. You just feel it pierce through, Sebastian. Anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, that's everything.
Okay. Breeze.
It's looking messed up.
It is looking messed up, yes.
You know, actually, yeah, I'm gonna dissonant. Yeah, I'm gonna dissonant whispers it.
Okay.
So it has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. You start to... How do you cast your dissonant whispers?
My voice, it's like a whisper, but it's somehow like loud. Like it's like a but it's just saying the worst things I could imagine. Like, so for what this creature's sort of said, I think it's yeah, your kind is cursed. Whatever power you thought you had is nothing. Everything you care about will wither to dust and never be reborn.
Jesus. My girl just bullies the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bully this unicorn.
You just start whispering to it, calling back to your days in the courts, just hearing the things muttered under people's breaths, and you start saying the worst imaginable things you can to it. What's your DC on that?
14?
Yeah, no, just roll the damage, man.
Fuck yeah. And it also has to, if it's alive afterwards, it has to run away, and it does take opportunity attacks. So...
Okay. So it does have to move away.
What the hell? Why am I rolling so badly on damage?
Okay.
It has to use its reaction to run away, and it is susceptible to opportunity attacks.
Okay, I'm just double checking some things. Okay, that's fine. That does work brilliantly. It's great. He does have to move away. He takes 7 points of psychic damage. As does he have to move a specific distance away? And is it on his turn or your turn?
He has to use his reaction to
Move his full distance in the opposite direction.
It is opposite direction.
In the opposite direction. Okay. So with that in mind, then.
Damn, you really bullied him. Now he's running away.
Well, I'm very good with my words.
Okay, so he runs all the way up here, but he does take an attack of opportunity from Blake, I believe, and Harsa, who's on the ground.
Yep. No, I stood up.
He did stand up, and then he turned into a crab. I was listening to that part.
People. Okay, yes, you stood up. Okay, cool. So he does run away. So you get to make an attack against him, Blake and Harsa.
Hey, buddy, you roll first so I know what to roll.
Now, I know that extra attack is an additional attack action, but multi-attack is just when you attack twice, correct?
You get one attack on a opportunity roll.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Extra attack wouldn't count here, but multi-attack isn't the same as extra attack.
I think it still counts as a secondary attack.
All right, no worries.
Like it is still counted as 2 attacks, so you just get to hit once.
All right.
Both hit. Roll damage.
Nice.
So 10
and I
for
still
K.
need that escape save.
Yeah.
Because I can't choose, it just automatically happens when I hit.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's another 12. And he has to make a dex save
Yeah.
before he runs away, attempts to run away, which he fails, which you actually prevent him from running away.
Yeah.
And he is grappled. So you are holding him in your arms, Harsa.
Oh.
In your
Cuddles.
claws, should I say.
Cuddles.
You are keeping him pinned in place, and he is shrieking, and he's trying to attempt to get away from you.
Y'all ever headlock a horse?
Anything else, Breeze, that you would like to attempt on this?
I'm just gonna move back a bit.
Okay. You move back a bit. Professor Smells, Bow, what would you like to do?
We will never know.
There is no Bow on his all.
I forgot to unmute because I'm silly. He's going to shoot with his crossbow.
Gonna shoot with it. Okay. Poo poo.
12.
12 meets.
Ah! 8 piercing. And that's it. He can't do anything else. That'll be his turn.
You watch as it takes a crossbow bolt to its eye, Harsa, as it's shrieking in pain. It lets out this roar as its rotting breath breathes over you. You can feel that its struggles are getting weaker and weaker. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Bao, before it takes a turn? Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. As you are holding it, Harsa, it has no choice but to react on you. It can't use its hoof attack because it can't reach you, but it can attempt to stab you.
It certainly can try.
It can certainly try. What's your AC?
14.
14. Ooh, meets. As it does indeed stab you with its horn.
Stabbing. Fair enough.
Stabbing with your horn. As you take 8 points of force damage.
Mm-hmm.
And I need a con saving throw, please. Okay. Sweet. Okay, yes. Just give me one moment, please.
How do you want to murk this player?
Don't say that. As you take 5 points of necrotic damage as well.
Nice.
Yes. Okay. I love the fact that you clicked a thing. Yes, 5 points of necrotic damage as you are pierced through with its horn. You feel this. You can feel as you see up your arms where it has stabbed you in the forearm. You can see these blackening veins starting to suffuse up your arm.
Yeah, anyone close enough can see Harsa is just sort of gritting his teeth and ignoring it as much as he can.
Okay. Sweet. Harsa, it is your turn.
Alright, I would like to attempt to further this grapple and restrain.
Okay, you would like to restrain him?
Yeah,
Sure.
so I'm going to push grapple even further and attempt to restrain.
Okay, so you unhook your claws and pull it around its shoulders as you pull it into yourself, locking its front legs down, locking its head to one side so it can't attempt to stab you again, essentially locking it in place so it can't retaliate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I don't know if that requires a roll or if you just want me to sacrifice my action for that, or... Because it's already grappled.
Yeah, it's already grappled, but I would say that it's an action to completely restrain it, and I'll actually get a athletics check to
Athletics?
hold it.
Okay.
Yep.
$19.
Yeah, you can feel it struggling against you, weaker than it once was, as it's trying to fight back against your hold, but you lock your strengthened arms against it and just pull it in tight, and it's unable to free itself. So, anything else you'd like to do, Harsa?
No worries. Well, as I said before, I can't do any bonus action stuff, and I'm currently locking it in place, so I can't really move too much.
Yep.
So that'll be my turn, I guess.
Okay, so Blake, it is your turn.
Look, I'd like to take this opportunity to say some people may be questioning. I've heard a lot of rumours about some kitsune stuff. I'd like it put on record. No idea what you're all talking about. I'm not punching in the head again.
Okay, you go poof. As you do so, you watch as your fist just cracks into the lower part of its face, just caving it in. You see this blackened ichor trickling down your arm as you watch the purplish light in its eyes fade as it goes limp in Harsa's arms. I don't need to get you to roll damage. You do kill it. But you can roll damage and see what you get if you like. Yeah. And you watch as part of its face just catches fire where your knuckles burn into its flesh. It is dead. And you are all out of combat.
I shake my hands. I get it off. Yuck. It's not what I signed up for.
What the hell was that thing?
Still incredibly pissed off, Harsa in his huge form will take both clawed parts of his arms and wrench the horn off its head.
And I look at Harsa and say, what the hell is that thing?
Is its torso like somewhat intact?
Oh yeah, its torso is completely intact. You just bashed its face in.
I rest my palm open on it and just burn a handprint in its torso.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave my mark.
There is a
feel
smell
like you did on its face.
there is the smell of burning, rotting flesh as Harsa. You have this corrupted unicorn horn in your hand. It's flickering with this swirl of black Icarus smoke that almost feels oily to the touch, as it's not. It feels like it feels lighter than it should be, like it's there, but it's not there, and everything about it just gives your skin the crawls. Where it stabbed you in the arm, you can see those blackened veins just eating into your arm.
Yeah, no, he's just gonna angrily shove it into his pack.
Rick's pointing his revolver at Harsa.
What the hell are you?
Now noticing those around him, he currently takes a aggressive, well, more defensive stance towards Rick.
I'm pretty sure that used to be Harsa.
Yeah, but what is he now?
Maybe
giant
unicorn
crab?
did something?
Everyone, Harsa is a individual that has spent many years studying the ways of changing one's form. There's nothing to worry about. He's still on our side, just currently under transformation, and I can assume unable to talk in this form.
How long does it last?
Giant Harsa lifts a leg and stamps once.
1 year?
I'm gonna mind link Harsa. You can talk to me now, mate.
Actually, I'm just gonna quickly check if I can.
So long as you can understand the language. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I can understand a language and stuff.
I mean, he's given off he's
Oh, no, here we go.
communicating.
Yeah, cannot cast or concentrate on spells, but can barely, falteringly speak. So yes, I can understand language and speak. So yeah, he would be able to just. You barely get this jumbled mess in your mind, but you do catch the word "hour."
He has an hour on this, everyone.
Great. You may want to stay out of sight so it doesn't scare anyone. Nothing personal, fella.
He's crabby looking, right? Does
He is crabby looking. Blake,
Would he like
you
a
also
nice
have
bath? Or-
you have inspiration, by the way, thanks to Evil One,
Oh, hello, Craiger, you beautiful boy.
which just so you know, you can use that inspiration on any roll that you would like. Basically, I think you add a D6.
It's advantage, I
Inspiration?
think.
Oh, there you
if
go,
it's some
advantage.
inspiration.
So it gives you advantage on a roll somewhere. So, as you're talking to Harsa, you become aware of screaming from the wider city around you, even though there has been silence that has fallen on this street around you.
Yes, I do believe Crisis, who's around at the moment, did discuss that he saw others in trouble. So, as much as this little convening victory of ours is rather nice, well done, everyone. I believe there is more work to do if we wish to be safe within the confines of this city.
Bao was already packing up his failed trap. He's definitely gonna plan where he puts that one next time.
I walk up to the cat and I'm like, did you really think that was gonna work?
Well, I kind of hoped that it would get angry at me enough that it would just kind of walk into it.
Our giant crab has also left the scene of the crime team.
I was gonna say, I was just walking away.
Yeah, no, the crab is walking off, and you see him currently attempting to behead the bin chicken.
No.
He's a big boy. I'm just gonna let him do what he wants to do at this point.
Is he gonna eat it?
I hope he eats it. Let's be honest.
Where are the? Can we tell the general direction of where the screams are coming from?
Can I do a perception check and have a little bit of a listen?
Yeah, well,
Shame.
you don't need to do the perception check because you came from the direction that of the tavern, and you know that there was screaming and running in that direction. You did have to change the path. You were basically following a path of destruction that looked like a giant crowd had come through. There were crushed bodies. There were cars that had been rolled over.
God tells me I know where we're meant to be going, team.
Yeah, we're gonna see if people need help.
Rick, you would also know, having come with Blake from that direction. Because you were directing the crowd from your light post, so you didn't get crushed from some of the screams, and also the people running past. You did ascertain that apparently there is a herd of wildebeest that are causing stampedes throughout the city.
How big is this jeep?
Big enough to carry all of you. It can easily fit about 12. It's definitely a mum van. Mum van jeep.
There's a
What are we
comment
doing?
there, but I can't. Just out of curiosity, team, any of you able to drive?
Yes.
I like the trash panda. I'm going to let him drive. I don't really want to turn my extinguish my fist yet. I'm going to sit with carefully out the window.
Did you leave the keys? Did you leave with the keys in the? Did you leave the keys in the ignition?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you pile in. You take the passenger. You ride shotgun, Blake, as you hang your flaming hands out the window.
Would you mind if I got in?
Yeah, everyone pile in. Let's go. We got people to save.
Pull the lead out, people.
I don't want to ride on the roof.
I was going to say the crab's going to have to get on the roof.
The worst part is about you picking this car. When you go out into the wilderness, I know I'm gonna have to put a T-Rex against you.
Oh, I'm going to punch it.
Why do you say that's the worst thing? That's the best thing.
Hey Boo, I did make a little token on the fly for you.
Hey Bluey, Crab Boy, you coming?
I'll say that Crisis also gets in with you.
Have I managed to dislodge the head from this Wakwak?
Roll me. Give
A
me second.
decapitation.
No, it's not a decapitation. I actually know that there is a specific roll. One moment, please.
If you're referring to Heliana's, I think it's sleight of hand or survival.
Yeah, roll me survival. Yeah, you managed to decapitate the large bird and grab its head.
No. Yeah, you see him shove this bloody, messy skull into his bag, and then he leaps onto the roof of the Jeep.
You can see the trails of viscera and the twisted cords of the neck muscles as he's just ripped it off. Kind of like twisting a piece of fruit off a branch.
While everybody else is walking away and loading up in the Jeep, Sebastian's just going to meander over to the dead Nullicorn.
Yep.
And I guess a couple questions. Is there anything Sebastian can sense about this thing or salvage from it or anything like that?
If you're trying to salvage something, is there something specific you're trying to salvage from it? Or in terms of sensing...
I would have taken the horn, but somebody else took the horn.
Somebody else took the horn? Okay, so you're going to attempt to... Okay, to try and sense anything, is it... Okay, you stare down at it. Roll me.
Yeah, just something that seems interesting. Like there's a seemingly source. Like maybe there's veins that goes directly to the heart and seem to like coalesce. Just something I can later on like cast identify on and stuff like that.
Yeah, no. One moment, just let me check something. There's the other book. One of these books are not like the others. Okay, I need you to... Roll me a wisdom check.
Just a flat wisdom.
Yeah, just roll... Actually, roll me a wisdom with advantage. Okay.
This is a check, quote unquote, right?
Yes, you're checking. As you're staring down at it.
So 20. Then.
Yes. Okay. So you stare down at this creature. You can feel the ebbs of whatever had taken it over leaching into its mind. That seems to... It is fading, but as you're staring down at it, you feel something within you kind of driving you to look at it closer. And as you crouch down to look at it, you start to notice that just under the forelock of hair that used to hang either side of the horn, you notice that there seems to be some dark mark, like a brand of some description. You would need to get closer to have a look at it to see it properly.
Cast resistance on myself and get closer.
Okay. As you reach down, you move the hair out of the way and you feel something within you flicker over your eyes to allow you to look at this unicorn. And it now seems to kind of have this inky mist that seems to be lingering over it. And you can see where its hair had been, this mark, this glowing blacker than black mark that looks a little bit like a deformed goat's head. It seems to be a brand that was pressed there by something.
Okay, noted down. With my vibro knife, does that look like something I can take?
Yep, you can attempt to carve the piece of flesh out. Just roll me a, what is it, a survival or a sleight of hand? Yeah, you do so. You manage to carefully skin the ashy flesh of its forehead and you bring it up and it does have this black goat's mark on it.
Okay, well, if that's everything,
Okay.
I'll give it one less, give it a pet on the snout, and then turn towards the car with everybody else getting in and go to join them.
Yeah.
Nobody's taken the front seat, have they?
I think Blake's sitting in the front seat with his hands, flaming hands out the window. And Rick's in the driver's seat.
I'm next to Breeze. Breeze and I are vibing.
Okay, so you're in the back seat next to Breeze with your hands. So yeah, there's no one in the passenger seat. Rick has moved the driver's seat really as far up as it'll go. And his feet just touch the pedals.
Don't worry, little fella. It's a rental.
I'm used to
Keep an eye
it.
on the road for you, Rick.
It's given him plenty of room behind his seat, though.
I'll gun it.
Okay, you gun it. You swing it round. You have proficiency with land vehicles, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
So you told me you did.
You swing it. You swing it round and
Police training.
You start driving it back towards the tavern, the Billy Goat Tavern. So you're meandering through the streets. Some of the streets seem blocked off. Yeah, some of the streets do seem blocked off. Yeah, some of the
That's what
streets.
footpaths are for.
Okay, so you're going to take some of the footpaths, huh?
Yep. We're going to be zigzagging everywhere.
Just beat the horn. They'll get out of your way.
Okay, so you beep beep on the horn.
Sorry, what sound did it make, Teeks?
Beep beep. I can't make the clown noise you want it to make. I'm sorry.
Haruda.
Okay, the noise I was gonna. Thank you. That was the noise I was going to give it. Yes, that was the noise I was going to give it. But eventually you managed to make your way back to the Billy Goat Tavern and park up on the curb. The street outside the Billy Goat Tavern does actually appear to be clear now. As you make your way back. I believe, how long do your hands stay on fire for?
An hour.
course.
I mean, I can put them out at any time. If there's no combat, I'm going to put them back out. I just didn't want to put them out just to relight them again in a minute.
No, that's okay. At this point, you at least feel comfortable enough, Blake, that there's not going to be anyone
All right,
coming
I
in
give
your
them a
way.
little shake, and
They go out with a tss.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a puff of smoke as you get out. Get out of the car. Wind up the windows. Get out of the car. At the tavern.
How long was the drive?
Oh, like 3 minutes, if that.
Is there anybody in trouble?
still
Not
crap
enough for
boy.
a short rest.
Not enough for a short rest, no.
Hmm.
However, you are at the tavern. You can go inside and debrief and take a short rest if you would like.
I thought we were going in the direction of where the screaming was. So
Oh, you're going-
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought we were going into combat.
I thought we were going to
Okay.
help people.
Okay,
Yeah.
Just drove
then
back home, we
I
were like,
retcon. Then I
Out of
retcon.
sight, out of mind.
I retcon all of that. You head in the direction of the screaming. I love this for you guys.
So there's I'd like some really important points brought
I'm
up.
out of spell slots, but hey.
Breeze and I have started the anti-croc crew while we've been chatting in the back seat.
I've never seen
Okay.
anything like them before. What even are they? The crocs? Ugh. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
We are now against them strongly because why do they have holes in them? Just doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
You can vaguely hear this over the music from the front seat, Sebastian. Over the sound of Thunderstruck blasting from the
A single tear falls.
Ah.
He looked at the fucking window like a 12-year-old boy listening to emo music. The lights
Just
flash
jealous.
past.
It's just jealous.
They were just a fashion choice.
Not a
Okay.
phase, Mum.
Oh god. Okay, you
But
do.
nobody go down because I can't hear you.
Do you tell the group that?
I just on the way saying, I feel drained of my healing energies, but apart from that, I think we're good to help people. Let's go.
You want to have a nap in the car while we go for a little
Can I
drive?
nap in the car?
Well, a short rest. I do allow 10 minutes for a short rest. So
Yeah, I take a nap. I'm a warlock. I can get spell slots back.
you take a quick nap in the back seat. Okay.
Lay your head on my lap. I will keep my flaming hands up in the air.
It's like a little mini heater.
You look super, Blake. You look super uncomfortable as she lays her head down in your lap because she does have glass-like horns.
Yeah, they're very
What?
cold.
Well, I'm not cold. My hands are on fire. I've got
No,
pressing
the-
issues.
They curl back though, so they're not like
They-
they wouldn't like point into his stomach.
Yeah, they're just uncomfortable for the layee instead of the layer.
No.
So what's the car situation? Me on like the left. We've got Breeze in the middle, Bow on the other side.
So I imagine that it's a bench seat across the second row, two like front seat, passenger seat, bench seat, and then another bench seat behind that, which can be put down if you need to put stuff in it. So
Okay.
And crab person on the roof.
and crab person hanging onto the the roof rack. Yes.
I put my hand up to see if Bow will give me a high five.
Oh yeah, Belle will give you a high five.
Don't give him a high five.
Yeah, he's stupid enough.
Okay, fine.
Oh,
Bow,
poor
you
Bow.
give him a high five and you feel the slight sizzle of your little meaty paw. Just.
He clenches his teeth he's like, friendship is very painful.
God.
Oh, I chuckle to myself.
Crisis is sitting in the backseat all by himself, just him and his gun.
Does he want a high five?
Crisis is staring out the window looking vaguely haunted as he sees all the people running and screaming through the window. He looks down. There seems to be... He looks down to a cup of water in a cup holder in the side of thing, and you just see a ripple in the water. No, we're not going to do that one yet. But eventually, you can't move past anymore because there does appear to be a crush of people. crush of people that do appear to be swarming. And at the head of this crush, you can see what appears to be some kind of large creature with glowing blue eyes. It's
If it's anything like any crush I've ever had, it's going to avoid me, so we've got this.
It's vicious horns curving up. It's got matted, darkened fur all around its face and off its hump as it's stamping at the ground.
It's hump.
Oh, God.
My hubs, my house, my house, my hubs.
Yes, as you pull up.
Get us as close to it as possible.
Wow, maybe you can talk to this one.
Mm.
You're very charming. I'm sure it'll listen.
I am very charming.
And if that doesn't work, you could throw your bear trap at it.
I like the bear trap, personally. I'm a big fan of that.
Throw the bear trap at it.
Okay, do you stop in front of it, Rick? Like slide to a stop? Slam the brakes on?
We'll say yes, because Rick is dead.
I slam the brakes.
Oh,
And I rev the
can't.
engine.
Oh,
You
Oh.
slam on the brakes and then rev the engine.
Yep.
oh no.
Okay.
And beep the horn.
No!
You watch as this beast is glaring at you. Just give Here you go, everybody. Here you go. Have a look at him.
Oh,
He's glaring at you, pawing at
-3
the
to
ground. For anyone who is staring down at the wildebeest through the windshield, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Am I still asleep?
Huh? Wait, huh?
You can be asleep if you want to be.
Wait, what? What do I? What?
If nobody's actively woken me up.
Oh.
The horn didn't wake you up?
Oh, it did, but I'm probably still bleary-eyed and delirious, so I don't think I'm looking at it.
Okay,
I don't
Rick,
think that's good for Rick.
it's not good for Rick. Rick, you lock eyes with this creature. Its eyes blue and glowing, like it's standing its ground. It looks like it is about to charge at you, and you feel fear. You are
is that
frightened.
a wisdom saving? I don't know what I rolled.
Sebastian Cade, you feel no fear. You do not know what fear is.
There's only one problem.
He's
I'm in the
wildly
driver's seat.
afraid.
Yeah, Bow, you... Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, that's fine, Cade. Bow, you also feel afraid of whatever this thing is. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look like it's going to yield. And if anything, he just looks super mad. You are also frightened.
Oh, where's my rat when I need him?
You gave him to a person.
I know! It's the worst choice he ever made. No.
It's within 30 feet, so I speak psychically with it and say, hold your charge.
It does not understand a language.
Oh no!
You watch as it snorts and as it exhales. This glowing turquoise gas just starts wafting towards the car. You watch as people around it start to fall to their knees, coughing, grasping at their lungs, coughing up blood.
Trash Panda, you want to smack this bad boy in reverse and let's get the fuck out of here?
He's scared. He's already in the process of doing that.
As you say this, Rick, as much as he can reach the pedals, pushes his foot as far to the floor as he can, reverses around, and just takes off in the opposite direction.
In reverse.
Driving away in reverse. Okay, we're gonna Fast and the Furious this. You've turned your elbow over the seat and you're looking behind you as you're driving.
I'm just using the rear vision mirror.
Okay. So,
Rick, what are you doing?
Roll me a vehicle handling check. I know you're proficient, but we're getting into a whole new territory. Yeah, you've got this. You are very much in control of this situation. Yes, you
How
are
long has it
driving in
been
reverse.
since
And
the
at the,
unicorn fight?
it's been at least 10 minutes. Enough
Okay.
for you to have had a rest on the top of the car if you needed a
Cool.
rest. While holding on with your claws.
If we're gonna back up away from this thing,
Yeah, which you are. You're currently driving away from it at speed.
how far away from it are we?
At the moment, you're not there. That's definitely not where you are. You have...
How many dice are you meant to use in a short rest? Can you use them all?
As
can use them all
many
if
as
you want
you
to.
have
If you want.
left on you.
Cool.
Yep.
I don't think I don't want to cast myself, but I don't think I've taken damage this whole campaign so far.
Oh, now you're dead. Good one.
Yeah, now I'm dead, yes.
Have you got your seatbelts on?
Boy,
Bad
how
move.
quick is this car moving? Can I get out?
No, you cannot get out. It is moving too fast. Rick is moving
Alright,
at
the foot is
speed
full.
away from this thing. Yeah.
It's on the floor.
Where are we going, guys? Let's go.
Okay, but can
If
I
you
get
if
out?
you want to
You're on the roof, aren't you?
you want to get out,
Harsa
No,
wasn't
crap.
buckled. Harsa wasn't buckled in for one.
Harsa's
As
on
soon
the
as we
roof.
started going in reverse, Harsa went over the bonnet and is now on the ground.
yep. Harsa's left behind. You can throw yourself
even
out of
wanna
the
do a bit
car if you
cherry
want to.
check.
Well, if Harsa's rolled off the roof, can I, is Bree still laying on my lap?
Yep. Well, no, she would have sat up by now.
No, I
correct?
know. I said yeah. I woke after the beeping. I woke up kind of going, "Oh, that's it." So
Yep.
I'm sitting up.
Okay, can I poke my upper body out of the beautiful little sunroof I have here and shoot off a guiding bolt?
You press a button, yes, and you can look at... So you stand up on the seat out the sunroof that has just opened, looking at this creature. Yeah, you can hit it with a guiding bolt if you'd like to.
I'll give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen?
Oh, don't say that.
Well, that's the worst that can happen, apparently.
You miss. It strikes off the cobblestone, off the asphalt, with a skitter and a flash of sparks, as you are continuing to drive backwards because
Rick,
he has not
stop the
stopped.
car.
Rick has not stopped.
I'm getting away from that thing.
Can I pop up and try and Eldritch Blast it?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, now we're cuddling out the sunroof.
Okay, popping out the sunroof. You're giving real what's his face energy.
You lift your arms out. Blake puts his arms up behind you. I feel like I'm flying.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's either Titanic or Ghost. Yeah.
Oh god.
I haven't seen either
Okay.
of them.
You stand up, you shoot, you hit with your Eldritch Blast.
Oh,
yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Hang on, there we go.
No.
Actually, click on damage instead. Why can't I
Yeah,
click?
that's fine.
I cannot click. There we go. 10, and also I push it 10 feet back.
Okay. You'll hit. He gets pushed back 10 feet,
Can I-
which...
Can I convince Rick to not be scared anymore?
Yeah, we need to go the other direction, Ricky.
You can certainly attempt to. As Harsa, you are staring in your... Is it Aldani form?
Mm-hmm.
You are staring down this thing. It is looking at you, and it is stamping its foot.
Yeah, he hunches over to become almost quadrupedal and is basically challenging this thing.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. He's got this.
We will come back to this in a minute. Sebastian, you want to convince Rick? Sure.
Yeah, I just want to reach over so that Sebastian just grabs Rick by the scruff of the top of his head, turns his face towards Sebastian's sunglasses, and psychically is just giving a soothing tone of calm down, Rick. There's nothing to fear. You're not in danger. Get a hold of yourself.
I
No,
bang my fist on the roof and I remind Rick I've hit bigger things than this in this car.
Do I get a saving throw again?
Roll me a wisdom save. Yeah, you can make a wisdom save. with advantage because you are being basically calmed mentally.
Yep.
You are no longer afraid.
I'll slam the brakes on.
There is a plume of rubber smoke that erupts under the front of the car as you just pull to a stop.
Sorry, guys, don't all come over me.
Calm down, Rick.
Bow,
Harsa's
you're
in
also
danger.
terrified in the backseat.
We need to get back to Harsa and help him, Rick.
I use one hand. I press one hand into the metal. I don't know if it melts a little bit under me, but I use my body to sort of stop Breeze falling arse over tit out the back of this car.
Okay. There is a little bit of a bubbling to the paint as you melt the paint slightly with your flaming hand.
Wait, why was I falling out of the car?
Because it jerked to a stop suddenly.
Oh. My hero.
It's
I
just Blake is really desperate to cop a feel.
Well, it's more she just bragged about how she hasn't copped damage, and a concussion doesn't look good on the real resume.
You do manage to keep your hands free of her lacy dress, though, so you don't melt parts of it, which I would not recommend. But, okay.
Rick will
You've pulled-
I'll kick it back into first and take off.
Oh, ram it.
Are you sure you want to do that? Because in front of you, Rick, you've skidded to a stop.
In front of me as well.
He did the soundboard.
The hunching Harsa squaring off.
I can go around him.
Hey, the collateral damage is in the way.
I think this is what Harsa needs to do alone.
Okay.
We'll
Harsa,
just drift into this. It'll be good.
you and this creature you and this
imagining
creature
like a good, bad, and ugly standoff right now. Just
you and this creature are staring off, and it launches into a charge at you, Harsa.
I launch back.
Okay. Roll me a contested athletics versus athletics to hit it. See who.
If it even, I'm basically playing a game of chicken, seeing if this thing backs off or not.
I hate to spoil the ending for you, man, but I don't think it does.
Who knows? If it's an actual wild beast.
I feel like the dead giveaway was the fact that Tiggs was like,
Yeah. But even the DM sounds like upset.
Okay.
I've heard that same noise many, many times when I do stupid shit in Power Rangers.
So you take off, your claws biting into the asphalt, digging up little gouges in the tar as this creature has started to stampede towards you. There is a moment where you hear the sounds of a revving car behind you, Harsa, and that distracts you enough that it takes you completely by surprise as this thing hits you full force, forehead to forehead. Give me a second. Okay, first things first.
I was gonna say, can I do a silvery bobs on its athletics? No, it's a check, right? Actually, I don't know.
If it's an
It's
ability
a check versus
then
a check, yeah.
So if Silvery
can.
Bobs affects ability checks, then you could.
No, let me double check.
Okay.
I don't like this turn.
And then you could give it to someone else that might need it.
Yeah. Yeah, when they succeed on an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw.
Yeah, so you could do it right now.
Okay, I'll do it right now. And then
You
if I
see
give it,
the
if I give
creature
the
that is
advantage-
Harsa
okay.
and this creature
Well,
squaring
hold on.
off.
Yes, as the squaring off, we've got silvery barbs coming in.
And if I give
Okay.
you then the
They are racing towards each other.
I give you
Breeze.
advantage then.
All right,
Okay.
so it's a 19 instead of a 13.
Doesn't matter. It got a nat 24 as it hits you, and you
With
take
the
another-
reroll?
Oh, please re-roll. Please
Yeah,
do.
silvery
No.
barbs means it has to re-roll and take the lower.
Okay. It's a 19.
And so you got a 19, so it's
Yeah, I got a 19, so we just Beastmaster lock in place anime fight style.
I believe it works with meats and beats, basically.
All right,
Is
well,
how it always works.
In that case, it depends on if you're considering your roll the DC to beat or my roll the DC to beat.
Basically, you hit each other, and it hurts, Harsa.
Uh-huh.
You narrowly avoid its gore attack from hitting you, its horns coming down and reaching in as you manage to lock just between its horns as you thunder against each other. There is a slight skid of your feet as you feel it pushing against you. You can smell its noxious breath wrapping around you.
Yeah, he's going to tense up his muscles and try and, if I'm able to, I want to carry the momentum and just full on tombstone this guy, like lift it over me, let the momentum carry it over me and land it on its back behind me.
You are not grappled.
No, I know. I'm attempting to now perform another check to do so.
Before you manage to grab it, because speed is a thing, you and the wildebeest both have to make a dex saving throw to not get run over. While Rick, as you are driving, roll me a vehicle proficiency check, like a vehicle check.
Can I just say?
Oh my god!
Can I just say? So Rick's moving closer, right?
Yep. You don't like this one.
Yeah!
Val.
Val is going to jump out the window.
There is Rick behind you. You hear the shattering of glass.
Oh my
Val, I'm
God.
gonna need an acrobatics check
Yeah, I can do that.
as you throw yourself from a moving vehicle. As Rick,
20.
you roll across the ground, bow, as this car is getting closer and closer as it hits. Rick. You roll over these two large creatures.
Well, no, if the dex save is to get away from the car, then wouldn't mine beat the DC?
Look, man, you've taken a hell of a beating so far. Just call the car.
The problem is you wanted to maintain that you were right up against the wildebeest.
Yeah,
between its
that's
horns.
fair. All right.
It failed.
I know, here are the consequences of my actions.
Yep, consequences of my actions. Oh, good.
As Rick, there is a thump.
An ecky thump.
There is a thump and a bump as as you in the vehicle are thrown around. And the vehicle, you hear the sound of an explosion and a crashing of glass as the vehicle takes 23 points of bludgeoning damage to its undercarriage. There is the sound of hissing coming from somewhere. There is a plume of steam that is coming out from under the bonnet. Something is happening under there. Harsa, as this thing has hit you, this was unprecedented. As this thing has hit you, you and the wildebeest both take 15 points of bludgeoning damage as a car comes to rest over the top of you.
Good to know.
Pinned underneath it.
Whose idea was it to hit them with the car?
The car, Rick, lets out a cough, a sputter, a bang, and all the dials on the front go dead.
You've got roadside assistance?
Yeah, I've got like magical NRMA. We're good.
When you said that the car coughed, I really thought it was sentient for a second. Oh my god, you've had a sentient car this whole time. Anyway, sorry.
As we are sitting here contemplating our life choices, we're just going to take a quick break to get a drink, go to the bathroom, and we will come back to whatever the hell this is
Just lucky it's
in
not a
5 minutes.
You
Let
can't
the DM have a
mention
small
that
panic
people
attack.
are screaming in the distance and expect us not to help.
We will be back in 5 minutes, everybody. Get a drink, go to the bathroom, and we'll be right back.
Get yourself a paper bag to breathe into.
Young blood made of gold, a mind you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. And we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this.
Children used to run and play. look at all the mess we made. Guess I never know where it went wrong. Sometimes I feel like all that's sad, 'cause viral then people forget. In this crazy world I don't belong. I see fire burning, but I close my eyes. I'd rather deny that. Everything is falling out of place. I see trees ripped from the ground, but nobody makes a sound. I see fire burning, but I'm fine. I am nobody. We are not alone. There's more to life than this. Show me what you know. Take me to that place. I'm stuck within these walls. I need a quick escape. You know where I can go. Take me to that place.
Body. Woo!
And
Hey,
welcome
Crisis is
back.
alive, just for the
Waiting for
record.
everything to load up. There we go. Hello, hello.
Welcome back
Hello.
to D&D ASMR.
Welcome back,
Yes.
everybody.
Welcome back.
Oh god. Oh god.
Welcome
So
to the
excited.
internet.
For the second half of this session.
For the
How does
second
it
half
feel
of
to
this session-
be? How does it feel to be on the other end of the stick, Boo?
Yeah,
It's fine.
I am the
fine.
one who aras.
Oh, we're not going down this route. But for everybody who is just joining us, I welcome to the level of chaos that this is. We have just seen people get run over by a car. It's great.
Yeah, so while everybody else in the car is currently cracking jokes, Sebastian would like to hop out to go check on his friend Harsa, who just got hit.
Out of
and check
character.
that
No
he's
fair.
okay.
Okay. Well, it is currently like this. Harsa and the creature are like here together. And
Harsa and the creature be like, it started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this?
Can we hit him with the ada?
no.
What's wrong,
I'm gonna
Tix?
put that underneath. Harsa, you're on the map, but you're under the car. So
Oh, rough.
the car has unfortunately stopped on the pair of you. The
Cool.
dire wildebeest horns are pierced into the underside of this vehicle's engine. It is shaking its head, trying to get free.
I'd like to pull
Instead of
Harsa.
trying to get free, I would like to, any free movement I do have is being used to enhance the restraint that this thing is currently under. I am
Well, it's
helping
currently
the car
pinned
pin it.
under a vehicle.
Yep, I'm helping the car pin it.
Roll me an athletics check.
Sorry, continue, Sebastian.
I was going to say Sebastian's reaching onto the car to drag Harsa out from under it.
He is
Okay.
very large. Like, I'm bigger than Crisis's like enlargement right now.
That's what I'm trying to work out how the Jeep got on top of them.
Because
My
they were
enlargement's
both bent
bigger than
down.
yours.
That still makes them bonnet height. So
Everyone stop flirting? Jesus.
Ooh.
Basically,
No.
you hit the back and bounced.
Well,
Oh, I
if we
launched
want
Bounced
to-
off of my iron cheeks.
If we want to use the proper rules for how hitting an animal of this size with this car would go, we would actually either complete promptly windscreen and kill both of us in the front seat, or flip the car entirely, leaving it relatively unharmed.
But it's a Jurassic Park arc, right?
Yeah,
I'd
Dra-
be fine.
Jurassic Park.
Sebastian wouldn't be.
you can
Rick
hit a
would be okay.
T-Rex, you can hit...
I imagine it's like hitting a moose, and
Yeah.
hitting a moose
Yeah.
is gonna the car's gonna be worse off than the moose in that situation.
Oh yeah, the car took significantly more damage just in that situation. It definitely took more damage than you guys. Like, it took 23 points of bludgeoning damage hitting you guys, and you took 15.
I really
Plus,
should have
it's
sprung
got-
for a better bull bar.
It's got a pierced engine. It's now missing a back window because a cat tossed itself out of it.
Unrelated.
So can I pull out Harsa from under the car?
You can attempt to roll me in athletics against his athletics because he's currently holding on to the Jeep.
I was going to say,
and pulling it down.
isn't Harsa currently using the Jeep to his benefit of pinning this thing?
Yes,
I
but
don't know that. I just know.
yeah,
my
he
friend
doesn't
just
know
got
that. So
hit-
you reach
I
under
didn't
the
ask how
vehicle to
big the
grab
room is.
Harsa.
I cast Fireball.
Rick just
Damn, this is really unfortunate. Why is Harsa suddenly so heavy? I can't seem to move him.
Yeah, so I'm going to get you, Sebastian, to reach under the vehicle. You manage to get your hands wrapped around, but yeah, it is like trying to tug on a lodged rock.
Bite him.
He's not moving, but you can also feel Harsa's muscles straining and as he's pulling down on the under chassis of this car, pinning it in place on top of the wildebeest.
He's basically
is-
bench pressing the vehicle right now.
Yeah.
By the way,
And,
you can still psychically talk with me if you wish, Harsa.
Oh, okay. In that case, you would falteringly hear in your brain just a matter of like, mine, prey, capture.
Alright.
He wants to play Minecraft and capture the flag.
And then get religious and pray for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like eat. What is it? Live, laugh, love.
Oh no, I'm not
Eat,
live,
pray,
laugh,
love.
love in this.
Eat, pray,
I
love,
am
yeah.
not live, laugh, love in this.
Okay.
How am I
As you're
supposed to
standing
live, laugh,
there,
love in these conditions.
as you're standing there, Sebastian, and this wildebeest is pinned under this Jeep, and Harsa is pulling it down, claiming it as his own, you hear the sound of exhaled breath, and you start to see that turquoise mist start to emanate from the wildebeest's mouth again. You can roll me, Sebastian, a dex saving throw. Are you getting out of the way, Harsa?
Out of what way, sorry?
The mist that's starting to waft over you from this wildebeest's mouth.
When he first saw this thing exhale, how far did that gas go?
15 feet.
I'm gonna hold my breath.
Okay.
Well-
So you hold your breath.
Yep, hold my breath, jump to the left, do a little
is
Peter Panda dance. Yep.
But we're not trying to get out of the way.
I'm pinned under a car, Tegan. How am I meant to get out of the way?
At the moment, you're the one holding it in place. Judging by this, you could legitimately throw it off.
Yeah, but it's the only thing
Stand up.
keeping the fucking wildebeest here too.
Okay, so you
Really like
because it is a gas, it does work on inhalation. So you hold your breath. Sebastian, you try to scramble out of the way just as it washes over you. Unfortunately, you're going to take 20 points of poison damage
Jesus
as it
Christ.
hits you.
Sweet.
You back away from the Jeep coughing, I assume.
Yeah, I'll get some distance.
You have 20
Okay.
hit points? Whoa.
Breeze looks
I don't
around.
think Sebastian would
Bow
hit
with
that
11.
much, so yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
in total.
Oh.
Breeze looking around, look how pathetic you all are. Bow with his 11 hit points.
No, yeah, I know. I mean, I don't have 20. I don't have 20.
I was gonna say, yeah, that sounded more like Breeze was amazed that someone had more than
Amazed.
20 hit points.
Oh god. Okay, so
Wait, do you guys
Sebastian-
not have hit points?
Sebastian, you back up, coughing and spluttering. Breeze, you can see this from inside the Jeep on top of which the car feels pretty secure, like it's not moving anywhere, almost like it's pinned in place, like somebody's grabbing it and holding it in place.
But most of the people who were here and who are in danger, have they scattered? Have they?
Oh yeah, they're
I would
running
need to save people. So if they're getting,
Oh, they are
away,
running.
Is there something we can do to just like restrain this beast and then get the hell out of here ourselves? Like, we're not here to.
The
fight
beast
this,
is
we're here to save
effectively
people.
restrained right now. You parked a car on it.
Sorry, we may have to leave your car behind, and then we'll just head. We'll walk back. We'll meet you back at the hotel. No, but I'm just thinking, like, is there a way we can? I just don't want to chase people down.
It is like a stampede. Like, people are running from the scene of the crime where you have literally run something over with a car. They don't know whether they should be afraid of what's under the car or the car itself at this point.
Rick's going to jump out the door and start seeing if he can line this thing up for a shot.
Roll me an acrobatics, Rick, because you have to jump, what, 8 feet out of a car?
How tall is this car?
It's on Harsa's back currently, which is at least bonnet height, from what I've just been told. Rick, you managed to hit the ground with a rough and tumble. Parkour!
Parkour.
Yep. Do you shout that as you jump out the door?
Yes.
That's how I
Breeze.
the skill.
The door gets kicked open, you hear parkour, and Rick just disappear out the door.
And can I see this thing?
Yes, it is pinned underneath the vehicle.
I'm going to take a shot at it.
There is an emanating, fading turquoise mist that seems to be dissipating in the breeze, but you can see Harsa, whatever that creature is that Harsa is, underneath its claws hooked into the chassis, just pulling it down.
Now, to clarify, are we considered both of us prone or just restrained?
Restrained. You're
Right,
not
in that case, you have advantage. Because restrained means we have disadvantage on our attacks, but people who attack the restrained target have advantage.
Okay.
And I presume it doesn't get opportunity attacks if we walk away.
Definitely not.
Okay.
It also has disadvantage on dex saves.
Okay. You definitely hit Rick. It takes 6 piercing damage. Just gonna move the car momentarily so I can select it underneath. Okay. You hit it. You can see as the bullet hits just above its shoulder, Harsa, and you can see its blood dripping down as it's struggling as you're pulling it down, so its horns are actually caught up in name random engine pieces because I don't know cars.
It's called the block, honey.
Thank you. This is why we need a mechanic. I know nothing about cars. So yes, it's pulled on. Its horns are actually lodged in and pinned. So you do manage to hit it, and there's blood dripping down at the front of its shoulder. What would the rest of you guys like to do? I'm not going to put you in initiative because at the moment it's.
I mean, if like I'm gonna just try and disable this creature, so I'm just gonna get out and like stab at it with my light blade a bunch.
Okay, so you walk around to the front of the car, Breeze.
So Breeze pokes it with a stick.
A lightsaber.
A light stick.
Yeah, Blake, you watch as Breeze gets out of the car, walks around to the front of the car. You just hear as an orange blade whooshes upwards. Make your attack, Breeze. You're hitting it in the butt.
Does it have to be the butt? Okay.
Yes,
Yes, it's a
unfortunately.
requirement. That's the requirement for using a light blade, yeah.
Breeze, you
attacks
spin the
only.
blade in your hand and just whoom as you hit it.
Fencing lessons.
As it takes 10 piercing damage.
In the butt.
In the butt, yep. There is the smell of a slight charring of fur and hair as you slice across the back of its rump. You can see that you've lacerated its tail.
Yeah, I'm
You're
just
just
all
standing here.
I'm basically gonna keep on like because I want to get like my friend off of it so we can go and make sure that this thing doesn't chase after more people. So I'm just gonna watch out for the mist, run away if anything like that happens, and just keep on attacking it until it maybe dies.
Okay, so
I mean, I move back every time. Like I'm very much I'm gonna go in, stab it, run back.
So
I'm gonna
typical
wait for
like
it.
rapier.
Yeah, exactly.
In and
Go
dance
in.
like, what are
around
you
it.
doing? Are you staying in the car with Crisis? Because at the moment, Crisis is just kind of staring off blankly out the window that Bao jumped out of.
No, I'm gonna climb out onto the roof and make my way along to the bonnet. And so now that I'm sort of standing on top of it, well, am I under the impression we've got this thing pinned for a little while?
Yes. So, when you get out of the car and you see the situation and you can see that Harsa is, well, that gentleman, because no one's introduced themselves to you yet.
Oh no, I know Breeze. Breeze introduced
You know
himself.
Breeze.
Yeah.
You can see the other guy that's apparently part of this group's team is holding the vehicle down on top of it. Yeah, you can tell that it's relatively pinned.
Oh, in that case, then I'm gonna stand on the bonnet and I guess I'm gonna summon my spiritual weapon for now.
Okay, you
Oh, we
summon your
get
spiritual
advantage on these attacks as well, don't we?
Yep.
Because I can't attack
It's
this turn, can I?
Yeah, you can.
Well-
On the turn you summon it and any subsequent
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah. I will say, I'll let you roll your damage. As you summon, if I remember correctly, a giant glowing fox paw.
Yep.
Just
how
starts swatting at it. That starts swatting at it. Just roll your damage.
Is that what I'm meant to be doing?
Yep, that's fine.
A giant fox paw? That sounds like a reference. What could that mean?
No idea, boys. No idea.
I'm not going to play this out. Every agonizing attack on this poor creature.
Poor
But
creatures
we'll
killing
say-
people.
We will say, over the next minute and a half, you just hack and slash at it, death by 1,000 cuts, until eventually it just lets out a beleaguered groan and a sigh and collapses in front of you, Harsa, dead from all of the multitude of pummeling and slashing and piercing and gunshots directly to its face.
I'm so sorry.
All right, now before the hour is up on my ability, I'm going to get out from under the car.
Okay, you stand up straight. Just roll me an athletics check just to see if you can stand up straight with the car.
Cool. Athletics. I'm going to use my inspiration.
Wow. Oh, no.
You do not stand up. You are holding down so hard, Harsa, that your muscles have slightly fatigued, and you go to stand up,
That
and you
carpal
go, "Huh,"
tunnel's a bitch.
and you don't move. Like, the car doesn't move.
Sebastian, in your head, all you hear is stuck.
At this point, I'd like to jump off the car. I feel like I was really contributing to that, and I feel a little self-conscious now.
Now, with
Yes.
the lessened weight, can he redo his
Sebastian, you do hear stuck in your head, by the way.
Sebastian said he was BRBing.
Okay.
That would explain it. Yeah, roll me another athletics to see if you can stand up.
Can I help him get out from under the car at all?
You can.
Stuck.
I'll push from
George,
the other
this is-
side.
Don't.
If you're, pulling,
Sure.
if you're pulling from one side, I'll push from the other side, if that helps.
Okay, I will allow you to roll with advantage. So you can roll that athletics again and see if you actually move. I really. Oh.
If you change back, won't the wildebeest hold the car up and you can crawl out?
God.
As you say this, there is a groaning of metal as Harsa manages to up and back and just gently put the car down as he's standing there looking at it like this was a creature of its own that was acting of its own volition attacking you.
Harsha's quite big.
Yeah.
Yes, right now he is.
I would like to step away from Rick and point at Rick.
The temptation to just Hulk and Loki right now, just grab by the leg, smack, smack, smack. No. Oh god. Harsa will, however, look all like he kind of glances across his newly made rippling muscles, which are riddled with gore marks and like piercing marks and shit like that, and he just like gestures to himself and looks to Breeze.
I mean, it's a look. Yeah, go for it. It works for you.
He holds a thumbs up weakly and walks away.
Does he look really hurt?
He looks fucked.
Yeah, okay, I will use the foot. No, I do say that because at first she's just like, because she's appreciating the rippling muscles and says, well, yeah, it's definitely a look. I mean, go for it. And then she realizes what he's saying. Oh, yeah. And then she sings out this sort of pure, beautiful note, and you just feel it infuse your body and hopefully heal you. Well, it will heal you, but we don't know for how much.
Hopefully heal you.
I was gonna say,
Start taking damage.
do you want a rock paper scissors
yeah,
for
that's
it?
what I mean. Like, it's fucking minimum healing, but here you go.
You take 5 points of healing.
Woo!
Are you still feeling under the weather?
I'm gonna. This is the only time I'll do it from now on because I know it's a shitty thing to do. On a scale from about 26 to 1, I'm about a 16.
You got a good little 10 missing. You'll be right.
Yeah.
She'll buff.
Sorry about the car, Blake.
I did say it was a rental, so I do feel slightly responsible for that, Rick, if I'm being honest. I lied. It's not a rental. Now it's a write-off.
Do you happen to be in the Adventurers Guild? I hear that if you sign up, they do offer some insurance packages.
This is like the 3rd car I've written off from these sorts of misadventures. They don't let me get more cars through them anymore.
I see. Anybody want to go get a drink?
Yeah,
Is there any more screaming?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. If you say
There
yes,
is, but not within easy walking distance.
Oh, we've got a car.
we
don't work.
had a car.
Really, Breeze? That won't work.
Is there a bit of a market for the horns on this thing?
Oh yeah, no, Harsa is already dragging this thing out from under the car, by the way.
Okay.
There is a trail of blood on the asphalt as Harsa is dragging its carcass out from away from the car.
Well, as he drags it past me, I give it a nice little slap on the ass and leave a brand on its ass from my handprint.
It's going to significantly
smell of
reduce the
burning
value of
hair.
Yeah,
And-
we can't sell that ass now. Damn.
It's not about selling it, it's about asserting dominance that I killed it.
Did you? I feel like at that particular time we don't know who killed it.
I think it was definitely me.
I give my
I'm gonna go
hands
out
a
on a
little.
limb and say gravity killed it.
Agree.
Roll a d4.
Agree to
and then
disagree.
not tell who.
I give my hands a shake and they turn. They fire goes out.
There's a woof as it goes out.
A woof?
Psst.
What are you
If
whispering?
my dress has any burn marks or blood on it, it just instantly like whoosh, vanishes.
You're all standing around. Breeze, it occurs to you that you haven't seen Bow in a little
I
while.
was just about to ask where the cat was.
Professor. And I look
But the
around.
last you remember Breeze is he threw himself out of the vehicle.
But he does that a lot. Like, remember when he went away on the scooters just earlier this morning? Part of me just assumes he's fine. He just does that. He's just an agent of chaos. And, like,
He will show up when timing is right.
yeah, when he precisely when he needs to show up.
On
Like
first
Gandalf.
light on the 5th day.
Exactly.
When you make the offering of catnip to the
Uh-huh.
fish pond.
So I for a moment I panic and I look around just to see if I can see tracks of where he went, and then I stop myself and I say, no, he'll be back when we need him. And dramatic music plays, and the sun is setting. And then I
Yes,
turn back
they're
to
off
the
into the sunset, yeah.
group. Yeah.
Next morning, you find out he died.
Oh, rough.
Oh.
And the article says if only he had friends who cared about where he was.
Before Big Fella changes back, can I get a hand to push my car off the middle of the road?
Yeah, you work together, you and Harsa, you work together to eventually get it not parked in front of the post box because that's a fine that you don't want. But you do get it parked.
Is Harsa's hour up yet?
No, God no, it's only been like, I don't know,
It's been like 20, 30 minutes.
20 minutes at best.
Oh,
Yeah.
I give him a pat on the back and I say, sorry man, I don't know how time works.
He shrugs, and I'm going to use the strength once again to attempt to, like, crack the horns off of this thing.
Okay,
Same as I did with
roll
the
me.
Melicorn.
So what is this with the horns? Is this some sort of...
Roll me in athletics to just survival. There you go. Yep. No, there is a crack, and a sickening crack, and just as you're twisting at its skin that's connected to the horns, you're just tearing it off. And there are two bloody gaping holes where its horns once were.
Nice. All right.
I take this wonderful opportunity to introduce myself at this point.
Go for it.
I wink and say we've already met.
I'm aware we've met, but I don't know who Crab Boy is. There was a cat. I've met the Trash Panda. And Bluey's still staring off into space over in the corner. Should we be worried about that?
Harsa finally catches up to reality, kind of shakes his head a little and looks a bit surprised yet sheepish. He goes to hold a hand out to shake, realizes it's a giant bloody claw, wipes it on his clothes, and will hold the other set of hands out for a handshake.
I shake the bloody set before you have to wipe it, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Rick under his breath. Trash Panda. I don't feel so bad about trashing the car now.
Trash Pandas do what Trash Pandas be. Where's the cat?
It's okay. He does this. When I first met him, he was running towards something, and then after I met him, he was running away from something. And then yesterday, he had an adventure. This morning, he had an adventure on scooters. He'll be fine.
Where's his fur?
What do you mean? Where's your fur?
I've got hair. I feel like that's enough.
Oh my god.
And some people don't have.
Okay. Nice interaction.
Yeah, I was squinting. Like, what? Do you think he should wear a wig?
I don't like the no fur. It creeps me out on a molecular level, if I'm being honest.
Well, you can contemplate that later. We gotta work out where these things have been coming from.
This one you do actually know, Blake. They've been coming in from the forest in the surrounds from the northeast.
These ones are actually from just out of town. I do know that.
And even the unicorn?
Oh, I'd never seen that unicorn before in my life.
His name was Gary. We played poker every Sunday.
You mean Gary?
Gaz dog.
Gaza.
That's right, you owe me $5 too.
Perhaps we should go to the pub, get a drink, and talk about it all. I mean, and as you are such a source of information, I would love to pick your brain.
I still feel like we should at least find the cat first.
Okay, right.
Bree's just like, fine.
Are there like paw prints in a?
No, it's an asphalt road.
Can I hear any sort of scurrying or anything like that?
No,
His
because
paper
he ran off.
His paper hat's on the ground.
I say,
Paper-
psst, 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 here, kitty, kitty.
Hi.
The one time it would actually work and not be racist.
Well,
Harsa is going to slowly reach up with his non-mutated arms and activate his earring. So if he's within 100, I think it's 120 feet for message.
No, he is far, far away.
He's scarpered.
I take this
Fair enough.
opportunity. Well, while we're all here together, most of us, minus our furless friend, I would like to gift them all one of our special little guild coins that us adventurers get. Basically,
Yep.
these coins will let you guys get out of... it's basically an IOU for the Adventurers Guild. So if you guys ever need, you can flash this to the Adventurers Guild and they'll give you a bit of respect and a bit of help with anything you're sort of chasing.
He is
He
from the
hands you a-
Adventurers Guild. Okay.
He hands you a gold coin each, which has a raised symbol on it. It looks... Just give me a second to find it. It is kind of like a circular pattern, like a spiral, with some runes all around it that seem to be shifting in various different languages and flickering over different languages as this writing keeps flashing up around it. I'm just about to post for everyone in the chat to see what it looks like. Looks like this. But yes, it does have writing on it that seems to be shifting and moving and changing. So, yes. And he hands you each one.
Thanks.
No
Take a
worries.
swig out of his flask.
Thank you.
Hub? Question mark?
Sebastian has gotten up and staggered over to all of you, by the way.
Hey, Bluey's back. Have a coin. I introduce myself to Sebastian as I give him the coin.
Thanks.
Do you just say your name, or do you say anything else about yourself?
I basically just give you the rundown. I'm from the Adventurers Guild.
Furriest,
Okay,
I like
okay.
long walks on the beach.
Don't mind my driving. I'm an asparagus. That sort of stuff.
Asparagus.
I mean, I'll look Blake up and down, see if I can get a sense of what he's all about.
If he looks me up and down, I'm gonna change genders.
Is it like do you like stick
Don't
with
bully
it?
me, I'll change gender.
Is it like a stick with it? Like you change to your, the female version of yourself, your hair gets longer.
Yeah, my hair grows out. I just my features turn a little bit more feminine.
Yep.
So you become Jess Goldblum.
Yeah.
Are you coming on to me?
I thought you were coming onto me.
Like that, maybe.
Ooh, I should.
Ooh.
Oh my.
Sebastian, the coin that they pass you has the spiral pattern and shifting language, a shifting phrase that seems to keep changing different languages as it cycles through as you're holding it.
Are we all retiring for the night?
No, we're
We've
going to the
had-
pub.
Plenty of fun.
We didn't even get to
I'm-
finish our bar crawl. It's only been half an hour. I think we should at least go back to the pub and have a chat. And then maybe do some shots. And then maybe sleep. Just to get a grasp on what we all know. I mean, everybody was tearing horns off of things and examining bodies, and I just want to understand what people know about what's going on here. And
I'm
also get a little drunk.
You know what, Breeze? That sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
I am all for the pub, but can we take Crab Boy to the pub?
If we take the long walk home, maybe.
All right, let's wander back to the pub. Chat some shit on the walk.
Okay. So,
I would like to ride on top of Crab Boy's shoulders.
In your female
do you
form
allow
now.
it, Harsa?
Okay. I just. I don't say anything. I'm not going to comment. Yeah, carry on. Sorry, sirens.
Harsa, do you allow Blake to get up on your shoulders? Sebastian.
I'll allow it. If he catches the sort of pouting of Breeze, he'll hoist Breeze on the other shoulder.
Oh no! Do I see her pout?
How obvious are you making it, Bruce? Breeze.
She's contemplating.
Breeze. Breeze is muted. Which I will assume we'll come back to that in a second. As Blake, as you go to hop up on Harsa's shoulder, you notice that the red-haired gentleman that you just introduced yourself to and kind of had a bit of back and forth banter with, kind of looks pale and is swaying on his feet.
Oh,
No, he's not swaying on his feet. Look at that 21 performance. He looks golden.
That is true. He looks a bit pale and sweating, but he looks fine.
He looks
bravado
cool as heck.
hey,
Yeah.
Bluey, you took a bit of a beating back there. Do you want me to heal you a little bit, or are you doing Gucci gang?
No, I'm fine, mate.
All right.
Yep, no, he's absolutely 100% fine.
He's on that Greek male grind. I respect it. You like that one, did you, Teague?
God.
You should be used to all the bullshit that comes out of her mouth by now.
Is Breeze back?
Breeze is
I
back.
see they're no longer muted, so
Right, yeah, I'm
Yes.
back. Sorry.
Breeze, do they notice that you're pouting a little bit about the...
About
No.
what?
about getting to ride on Harsa's shoulder.
Was I pouting? What did I say?
I
there?
feel like there was a mention, like
There was definitely a mention of you giving me a weird look as I climbed up on Harsa's shoulder.
No, that was more about like I was actually just that was more about you being a woman now and me being like, and then I was gonna say like, oh, do you always do that? And then I was like, well, how much do I like? Do I recognize him as a kitsune? And like, how common is gender changing like in where I'm from?
For Fae, for some Fae, it is actually pretty common.
Okay, so I probably
And
wouldn't have commented on that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still odd for you to see it happen generally, like, just that easily. Like, you haven't... Like, you know that it is a common thing, but you yourself haven't seen a lot of it. Like, the races that do commonly change between their genders, a lot of them don't necessarily come to court in Arborealis. So they tend to be more adhering to the Fae old ways and stuff like that.
So,
I wouldn't have said anything then.
but do I see the funny glance? Do you give me a glance?
I don't think I give you a funny. I give you a look, and then, but it's not a funny glance. It's more of just a quick look, and then I just nod, but more in like an understanding way rather than a.
well,
on
we
kinda
can
way.
we can retract my statement then.
What did you say? What
Okay.
did you say?
Well, I said that if
Well-
Harsa noticed, because we thought you mentioned something about pouting with him climbing up on the shoulder, and I said that if Harsa
No.
notices that, then Harsa will foist
He
you
would
up
have
onto the
hoisted
other
you on the shoulder.
Did he clamber
Make
clamber
way.
actually, wait. Here's the thing. Did he clamber up, or did she clamber up deliberately onto your shoulder, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't like that Harsa put like her on his shoulder.
I
Then-
didn't
then
want to
would be
walk.
like
Still
a bit
asked.
upset. Then I'd be like, But if it was a
Well,
voluntary
here's
thing,
the thing. It depends on if if Blake is able to, because like if Blake was just standing there like give me uppies, then he would have obliged. So in that case,
You know
it would
what?
be
Sure.
Harsa doing
I
it,
like the
yeah.
idea that Blake is just like uppies.
No, I
Harsa-
jump up
Harsa
there.
hoisted him.
Then around here.
All right, yeah. If to summarize, if anyone complains about uppies, they get uppies.
I love that for us. So is Breeze on the other shoulder?
Yeah.
Yes, we are now riding like Aladdin on Abu the monkey elephant.
Well, no, he's bipedal. They're just on either
I
shoulder.
know. So you're up above the
I
crowd.
can show
Poor Rick,
you
who
the
is the
world.
poor Rick, who is the shortest member of the party, is trekking along at his.
I'm behind, just
25 feet.
taking me swigs.
I loop my
Clothes get
legs.
bigger?
Yeah, that's a good question. Are you naked right now?
No, wait, who?
Harsa.
No, he's not naked.
No.
He's wearing clothes.
Okay. They get bigger too. Okay.
Well, they don't change size categories, which is why I specifically chose a creature to mimic that doesn't change size categories, but is just under the cusp. He is
Yeah.
quite large, but not large enough to be considered.
His clothes, and I believe that the clothes your character's been designed in, kind of, they're not
Constricting.
kind of necessarily.
Yeah,
they're not
loose when you're
constricting.
little and then like they get
Like, I
they're just real
believe-
skin tight right now. Just real skin tight.
Yeah.
clothing.
Yeah, he's wearing a skin-tight robe.
Yeah, I believe your
It's a look.
overrobe kind of like belts and stuff like this. So,
Yeah.
like your belt and stuff would be starting to cut in, and your pants would be reasonably firm fitting now, but not
Roll
to the
for
point
size
where
of
you
doll.
hulk out of them. So you're not hulking out of your clothes, should I say?
Are we at the
So-
front?
I was gonna suggest Rick sat in the pocket, but maybe
Oh no,
maybe
he's
not
staying behind
considering how
drinking.
tight. Those.
Yeah, no,
he's
Rick
busy
is-
drinking.
Rick is wandering behind. I'm assuming, Sebastian, you're walking next to Rick.
I mean, I was going to ask, could I pick up, because Bao said they dropped their paper hats, so I want to pick up their paper
Yep.
hat.
You pick up their paper hat. I'll say that Crisis is walking with Rick. Do you want to follow up?
Sebastian's
Sebastian.
at the back of the group,
Okay.
so walking behind everyone by like 10 foot.
Making it look like you're coolly strolling along behind them, but in reality you're dying inside.
I swing down, so I've still got my legs wrapped around, like sort of tucked in Harsa's armpit, and then I sort of swing down, so I'm hanging upside down, looking back at the group, and I'm chatting to
Okay.
Rick, and I noticed Sebastian sort of wandering a little bit further behind. I yell out, "You gonna keep up with us, or are you gonna just mope back there all day?"
Do I look like I'm falling behind?
A little bit, but then again, everything's upside down at the moment, so maybe not. Rick, do you want uppies? Your little legs getting sore?
I'm fine, thanks.
Come on.
Takes-
I reach
Takes
out my
another swig
hand.
from his flagon and his cigar.
I'll just
Um,
stare. No.
What if I said, come on?
I cast
What about
friends.
if I said no?
You cast friends!
I cast
Okay.
friends.
Okay, what does that entail, Rick?
Friends. Where are we?
You cast fireball. I've annoyed him.
Material component, alcohol.
Where are we? Where's me spells?
He just splashes it on him like holy water, like
Get away from
I
me!
have adventure on charisma checks. Direct at one
Okay.
creature that isn't hostile
Okay.
towards me.
Well, he's definitely not hostile.
No.
So-
And after
They do
spell,
know. Yeah.
he comes hostile towards me.
I'm going to force you to be friends with me until
No.
you get angry with me.
It's persuasion checks. It's intimidate.
Ah. Oh. Ooh.
It's no.
All right, grumpy pants, and I swing back up.
Yeah,
That's
you
pretty
do.
good, yeah.
Rick's kind of scary. He kind of looks a bit rabid right now.
Yeah, I lean over to Breeze and I say, "What's the deal with your trash panda? It's kind of a dick."
What's a trash panda?
That thing behind us, the struggling alcoholic of your party.
I definitely don't look inwards. I look backwards. Sorry. She's not. She's not. She's not. She's
Feels a little attacked. Yeah.
How much room is on? Is there? How much room is across Harsa's big, strong shoulders?
He's quite broad. We're talking like
Yeah.
Captain America-like shoulders.
Keep in mind the strength doesn't equal the size. Like, I can carry 2 of you, but just because I can fit more doesn't mean I will be able to carry more.
Well, in that case, I would like to jump down in front of the party.
Yep.
Faceplant.
I would like to. I would like to cast 3 mirror images and start my own little parade as I sing along and dance in front of them.
Okay.
This is like
Breeze,
one of
you
those-
watch.
Oh god.
You watch as how do you make them appear, Blake?
Little smoke clouds.
Look here.
There's like a poof, 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 and all of a sudden, 3 more little versions. 3 versions of Blake appear, mirroring his exact movements as he's starting to. Yeah, he basically like leading a little procession.
Prince Ali over the sea.
Yeah, pretty much.
How good is this performance?
Oh,
Roll a
God.
performance, Blake.
Oh fuck! Where's
The
performance?
difference between Prince Ali's parade and it's gonna be me from the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, it's rough, Breeze. Blake is definitely not one of the great bards of his time.
I'm not a bard at all. I'd like to point out I have no formal training.
Look, it's not bad. It's not like below a 10, but it's just not. It's it's a karaoke night. You wouldn't go home like embarrassed and dying.
Oh, we're chanting.
You'd be like,
pub.
Yay!
We're chanting the pub. It's here. It's there. It's every fucking where. The pub.
There's no musicality to it.
Yeah, it's just like a football chant.
Do I have any cantrips that can help with the situation?
Rick drops further behind.
Crisis looks embarrassed for you as he falls into step with Rick and Sebastian.
I put a hood on my glamour wave dress and just pull it up over my head.
This is almost more embarrassing than hanging out with Sebastian in his Crocs.
No, I'm having a ball.
Crocs are the lowest of the low. I don't know if you can get more embarrassing than that.
As you very reluctantly make way back to the Billy Goat Tavern to decompress for the evening and figure out exactly what is going on. Do you want to decompress on this evening, or do you all kind of just want to give up for the evening and have a nap?
The pub. It's here. It's there.
I mean,
It's every fucking where.
I mean, I think because for me personally, because I was so excited about the pub crawl and having an actual night of being young.
Okay.
I personally want to. I'm like, oh, we can still salvage this night. We can still salvage this night. Like loads of terrible things have happened, but hey, maybe we can still get drunk. But I don't know
with that in mind, then, we will pick up with Breeze, at least Breeze and Blake, potentially having a few drinks and discussing the events of the evening and stuff like this.
Oh,
so we'll come
if it's just me and Breeze, I'm back to being male then.
I don't know if that's what it's going to be, but we'll say you get back to the pub. You do manage to notice that a number of the refugees from the events have kind of dispersed out, headed home, tried to hide. It's certainly lacking the full pub crawl atmosphere that had been here before the attacks, but as you all manage to find a table, purchase a drink for yourselves, be it alcoholic or non-alcoholic, depending on the person, that is where we will end tonight's session, and we will pick up next week with a bit of a discussion on what the fuck is up with that?
What the fuck is up with that? Woo!
Exactly.
Fuck
where it
was
came
that?
So I would like to say to everybody, thank you to everybody who stuck along with the ride. Thank you to everybody who is watching in the post-show enjoyment.
Thank you for joining
Otherwise,
To our
thank you for
ASMR
joining
Thank you
in to
very
whatever
much.
this craziness was.
You've been such
thank
a
you
good
to-
viewer.
Thank you to
You've been
Uzumeka.
my
I can't wait
favourite
to have you
viewer.
back next week. I believe Uzumeka will be with us probably for most of April. As our wonderful Professor
You
Bow
stay.
Smells is
Izzy
actually
Mecca for
taking
life.
Professor Bow Smells Tyrant Dungeon is taking a bit of a hiatus just for April. So yeah, I can't wait to get back into it next week. If you like all of our stuff, you can catch us all in the links down below, or you can catch this on YouTube. Should be Monday, if you don't manage to catch it the last 5 minutes of this now. But otherwise, you can catch it on my YouTube of the same name. You want to get in contact with us, give any suggestions, advice, you can do that on YouTube or Twitter, which is Booberry Meadows. Otherwise, we will see you all next time. I hope you drink plenty of water. Get plenty of rest, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. And we will see you next week.
Ciao, Bella.
Bye.
Bye. And how's my driving?